Good num num morning. We're back, of course, with more Blue Reflection Second Light for, what is this, session 8? So yeah, I know some of these streams haven't been as long as the ones in the first game, but we should have been a lot more progress than this if it was as long as the first game, you know. But no, we still got quite a lot to do. We still got the rest of Kirara's Heartscape to do. We're likely going to unlock her friend that seemed quite prominent in it. That will unlock the next dungeon beyond it. We still got that Riser DLC we need to do more of. It's busy, alright? We're going to be at it for a bit. So let's just dive straight in. Last time we got to the final layer, the mansion of writhing voices, of our little spiritualist friend, who was seemingly being exploited by her father through her memories. So we're going to follow these memories to the end to see what really happened. Okay, it's a relatively linear path with only like 2 break-off points. The top bit up here, and then sort of down here it kind of widens out. And that'll be 9, 10, and 11. Okay, yes, we haven't missed any. In fact, it's a nice collectible, the memory shards. I haven't really talked about how I feel about the collectible yet. No, we can't, we'll get in trouble. But I actually like the fact that your rewards for the collectibles are, you know, more world building, more character building, more I have an idea of what's going on. What? Kirara can't come? Oh jeez, these guys... okay, these guys are bulky, you forgot. Oh. Oh, well, we're starting this one strong then, if we're just doing straight into this. I'll probably end up talking about it again as we go on, like as more people join and whatnot, because I usually do. But the Sonic Central is today. That was announced like kind of all of a sudden yesterday, super late. I was like, oh, okay, sure. But the thing is, like, we know Origins news is going to be there because it comes out in a couple of weeks, and we know Frontiers news is going to be there, especially because of the concerns people have over the IGN demonstrations, and how ultimately the IGN demonstrations have been really rough. And it's not all IGN's fault. Like, IGN, the dude playing the game, whoever it is, like, the guy who reported it isn't the guy playing it. That's been established. It's the footage given to them. But whoever it is behind everything that's playing it is, God, Jesus, they're not playing well. They're not playing well at all, and it's, like, really painful, which doesn't help the game, especially because the game already looks kind of rough in places. And it's like, having something look rough and then have someone play it poorly is just a recipe for disaster. Can that enemy actually see me? I think it could. Yeah, it can. I think it could. At least to some extent. It wasn't chasing, at least, but maybe I don't know. It just seemed to like switch its head to my general direction when I was around the corner, even though it couldn't theoretically see me. But then, as a whole, this game's stealth mechanics aren't bad, so it's harder to tell whether it actually was or wasn't seeing us. Oh, I forgot how many damage buffs I've got on Kokoro now, because of the fragments and whatnot. So this is still just straight ahead, right? Yeah, we got a boss, a climb over, and then we just keep on going straight for the next fragment after this one. You have to tell me how it tastes. Wow, that was quick. I mean, I'll take it. As I say, be a doll and kill it, please. So we can move on to the other one whilst we got all this huge damage boost building up. I do really love that idea of the combo system. But if you can keep it going without getting like completely like guard crushed by the special attacks, your damage gets multiplied up as well. What? Kirara can't come? Yeah, I have something to do with my dad. That's too bad. Well, it's just me and Yuka then. You know that shrine that the adults are always telling us not to go to? Let's check it out. No, we can't. We'll get in trouble. It's fine. Come on, let's go. Oh, are we about to find out the real reason why Kirara really hated that boy? Did they, like, did he endanger that girl? Depends easy, be careful where you store it. Here on the school burning down, I doubt any firefighters would show up. Oh wow, that's a nice little bit of scenery. Dun, 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 dun. Oh Jesus! The enemy just immediately just like beelined to Owl. Look at her health already. Jesus, can you get a little top up, please? Thank you. Oh, okay, Shio. Oh, this is a mini boss. It's probably going to do the animation for Coco's as well. Oh no, it's already done it. Never mind. It doesn't care this time. Yesterday there was a point where we did a mini boss and it redid the animation, so maybe it's like a set amount of time has to pass as well, so it's not too constant. Oh, so this is the transition point. It's not like something special, it's that you just squeeze through the gap. So there's something above us. Well, a lot of little things above us. And then we need to go left to get the next memory shard. Oh, the fact that she's doing like the wave instead of the slash down. Hang on. Yeah, so they're resistant to it. I was like, that's why she's not doing the normal slash. I say that she just did it. What, Shio, please. Your AI's better than this. Use what works. Nice. I need to actually start using some of these coins. You've got so goddamn many of them, and I never use them for anything. But yeah, the Sonic Central, to get back on topic of that, because I kind of detoured quite quickly. I am looking forward to it. And it's not just because of the Origins and Frontiers news, it's what other little secrets might show up. I think people are being a bit too optimistic to think that like another game's going to be announced right now. Like, as much as I would love to be wrong, and I'll happily be wrong, if they like announce like another remaster or port or something, I'd be like, that's badass. Like, especially if it's, you know, like very select ones. I think the closest we're gonna get though, assuming we're lucky, and this is like being very, very fucking generous, is the backwards compatibility PlayStation membership system is being implemented in the West this month. In the US in like a week or two's time, and in the UK like a week or two after that. If Sega wanted to, just throwing it out there, they could, you know, announce all the PS2 Sonics are coming to... Ooh, a saw. There was something we could use that for, right? I'm sure there was. There was something we passed by that required a saw. There was like a wooden thing that we could break through. Oh well, I'll check that out later. But, you know, I'd love to see Riders and Zero Gravity get ported up through the backwards compatibility system. Love to play Heroes again. I'd even give, like I've said it before on stream, I would give... I didn't realize I had it on auto. I'd even give Shadow another chance. Praise be, praise be. It is by the grace of the divine that I still have many more years left. Here's hoping you set the new world record for longevity. Regardless, how amazing that a village in such decline could regain its spirit. It reminds me of the legend of the urn. The legend of the vase? Is there a story behind the vase in the shrine? You mean to say you do not know? It was due to that vase that this village was saved from ruin. Many years ago, there was a devastating drought. Our rice crops failed, and many people fled. A priest at the shrine put out a vase, and wouldn't you know it? Rain began to fall, and in an instant the land flourished. Ever since then, the urn was revered as the guardian of the village. I see. Thank you for sharing this with me. Is the Kirara's father going to break the vase? So his child is the only one that's like a strong being, and that's what ends up causing his decline, and Kirara going back to being hated. Hence the shrine aesthetic that this third area's got. It was all building towards this, where he breaks the vase and ends up ruining his entire family's reputation because of his greed. But if we are being optimistic with these Sonic announcements, and they do have like another port or something planned, can you give the Advanced Trilogy a bit of love, please? Like any at all? Yeah, please? Like the Advanced Trilogy is still stuck on the GBA, and there's really no reason for it. Because yeah, like they're not the perfect Sonic games, but they're beloved by a whole different group of audience, and you know, was a huge part for a lot of people's childhoods that didn't grow up in the 90s. The kids that grew up in the early 2000s grew up with the Advanced Trilogy, and it was their replacement of the original. And I really enjoy the Advanced Trilogy, and I'd love to go through them again. Especially because if they port them up, it gives them an opportunity to clean out some of the not so pleasant things, like having to find all 7 of those rings in Advanced 2. Or having to do a stage again to get another key every single time you mess up a special stage in 3. The actual level design of the Advanced games doesn't bother me. I know for some people that that's a sour point, especially with Advanced 3 in particular, where they just got very insta-kill heavy. But I actually, I enjoyed the near trial and error approach the Advanced games had. When you mastered a level, knew where to go, and get through it quite confidently, I found it really satisfying. Especially in Advanced 3, because that was like a giant toolbox of levels sometimes. Like, there's like a million things going on, and you just had to figure it all out. But when you did, and you hit it fast, you felt like a legend. It was a great speedrunner game in that sense of satisfaction. You felt rewarded by being able to figure out how to do the level well, because you could do it so quick. And suddenly these 9 to 10 minute levels would be done in 2 minutes, and you'd feel like a champion. The only thing that held those games back was most people didn't know about the trick system in Advanced 2, so got stuck in Sky Canyon, because it's unless you're playing as Tails, it's required. If you're playing as Tails or even Cream to an extent, as I say, even Knuckles actually, it's just literally if you're playing anyone other than Sonic, it's required for you to know how the trick system works for you to get past Sky Canyon Act 1. And if you don't know how it works, it's the simplest thing. You just press R in any direction, you're fine. Jesus statues, Tailsmen, Torii gates, and the scent of incense wafting through the air. These things make me glad to have been born in Japan. They're so calming. Absolutely! This smell reminds me of my grandmother. It kind of feels sacrilegious to swing our weapons around the place like this. We must do what we must. We can't just let our enemies come at us. Sorry, let me stick my phone on charge, because I just realised how low it already was, and I always use that for chat. And is restoring peace to a divine space not a righteous act? That's the spirit! We should always look at things in a positive light. Is this really okay? But I've also seen Fidel or Game Cage's hopes and dreams for the Sonic Central, and it's even if it's so much hopium, I do admire the dude for his consistent optimism. Like I think it's really cool, like how like consistently like genuinely upbeat that guy is. Like he has so much heart for everything, and you feel it in everything he does, and I completely respect that. But holy shit, his stream was hopium. He was like, oh, they might do a Sonic Unleashed remaster, and I was like, as much as I'd love that. I'd really love that. I doubt it. Especially after Sonic Colors Ultimate was kind of whack. Well, they might do a Generations one. It's like, maybe, but I doubt it. Like, there's so much I'd love for them to do, but I don't think they're gonna. But then we honestly don't know. They might surprise us with something. So my big one is, like if the furthest I'm prepared to really go with the hopium is that you know that PS and backwards compatibility thing. Maybe some of the PS2 Sonics are going to be showing up in this new system at some point, and they're going to announce that during it. Because that would be a really nice surprise, announcement, even if it's not immediate. Like if they say like, oh, it'll be ready in a month or two or something. Just something that I think as a whole would just be really cool. It's not until late-ish my time. Like, I think it's, like, not until, like, 5 PM my time. But that's fine. I don't mind waiting. Ooh. The moon is so big. It almost feels like I could reach out and touch it. The dim light makes the place feel so magical. There's a pleasant breeze. The temperature is just right. This would be a great place to sleep. I'm getting all sleepy now. Already? We just got here. And I'm Japanese. Being on a veranda automatically makes me feel sleepy. I find it interesting that at the start of this game, they were debating the idea that they could be from different worlds or something just because of their different memories. But they've even talked about it, like, still sort of recently with the whole Ash phenomenon with, like, Al being the only one that doesn't know about it. And yet all of them, like, during this bit have talked about how much they love it here because it feels like home, because it feels like it feels like Japan. And it's like, well, clearly you're not. Clearly you all come from Japan, then. It's just your memories are all out of whack. There's a streak. Hey, dude. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I think I've only been streaming like 20 minutes, so you're in kind of early. I'll open this door just so it's open behind us. Oh, jeez, you're new. I mean, you're just a recolor of what we thought before, but still. And a bit bigger. We were just talking about, I say we, I was just talking about the Sonic Central that's on in later today. Or at least in my time later today. It's at like 5 PM. And like my hopes for it. Because like we know that Origins and Frontiers are going to get footage there. Because, you know, Origins is out in a couple weeks and Frontiers is out in the holidays. And I imagine they want to show something in a nicer light after whatever the fuck the IGN previews were. But it's like, they also said about like other announcements and projects. So we're kind of like ambitiously dreaming about what that could be. Because I don't think it'll be much. I think, at most, and I still treat this as an amazing thing if it was, the PlayStation 2 backwards compatibility that's launching in a couple weeks, they'll announce something for that and say some of the PS2 Sonics are coming to that backwards compatibility list. As much as I would love for it to be more than that, I think that's the most likely answer. Oh, I didn't get to see the animation. So like, they might say like Heroes and Riders and Shadow might be coming to the backwards compatibility program. And I made a terrifying promise, at least terrifying to me, that if Shadow the Hedgehog ever ends up on that backwards compatibility list, I will play it to completion. GameCube era reboot like SA1, SA2, and Heroes. Yeah, fair enough. Because I grew up with SA1 and 2 on the Dreamcast, the original versions. I never had a GameCube growing up. I had a PS2, so, you know, Adventure 1 and 2 only got ported to GameCube. They never got an Xbox original port or a PS2 port back in the day. It was only later on, like when it went to 360 and PS3's like digital marketplaces, that they started to become a lot more accessible outside of Nintendo and the old Dreamcast. But yeah, I agree, especially as someone who really loved Heroes as a kid, but tried to play it somewhat recently, realized the disc was scratched, and went through hell. Like, the game worked, but it didn't work consistently. It picked up double inputs, the loading took forever. It's just... It was weird. It wasn't as clean as I wanted it or remember it being. So it's like, I'd love to go through that again. But I made an awful promise that if Shadow the Hedgehog ever got added to like the PS2 backwards compatibility list, I would 100% it on stream. And it's like, the moment I made that promise, it was like something in my heart broke. Because I was like, oh no, why have I done this? But I plan to stick to it. If it ever does, I will do it. And we will all sit through the... Admittedly, like, it's a guilty pleasure, Shadow, in a lot of areas, but it still doesn't change the fact it's kind of rough. But we'll go through it. Anyway, let's see what happened with Kirara and her father. How are things going? Fine, more or less. If things keep going this way, I should be able to win the governor's seat. But one slip up and it's all over. I need to come up with a solid strategy. I'll be visiting the elders again today too. They have a lot of clout, even though they're technically retired. Oh, what a pain. That's it for the last one? I know that we've known that Kirara's father was planning for the election by abusing Kirara's powers. I guess we just got to go through the final door to see what that ends up entailing. Jesus. But with the Sonic Central, I've also seen people like really theory craft and let the Hopian run wild. Like, I've seen people say about, don't you have to play through Shadow 10 times to get the true ending? Yep, 10 times minimum. Because there's 5 routes and each route has 2 endings, so you have to do 10 playthroughs. Because you've got True Hero Betrayed, so you do the True Hero route and at the last second go evil. The Slight Hero Betrayed, Neutral Light, Neutral Dark, Slight Villain Betrayed, and then True Villain and True Villain Betrayed. And it's like each one, it's like you get to the final level of the game and then you can do a hero mission or a dark mission, and that decides your ending in that last level. But depending on, you know, the hero and dark stuff you do up until those points depends on what level routes you take. Like I said, Shadow the Hedgehog is great in concept, and there are a lot of little things that are genuine guilty pleasures to me. I enjoy most of the vehicles, and I enjoy some of the levels. I fucking hate some of the others, like the Doom and Central City can like suck a dick as far as I'm concerned. Like, they're not fun at all. They're awful. Like, they're genuinely awful. Like, but I will do it. I'll do them all. And there was a part of me, like, I was debating, like, because if you can A rank every single level in the game, you unlock the very hard mode. And very hard mode makes it so you go through every single level in a linear string instead of the alternate paths and whatnot. And so it's like, that would be a great send-off to that project if I did it. But it's like, can I really be fucking bothered to get 3 A ranks per level in a game of 26 levels, and I hate about 13 of them? Whereas I don't hate all of them. So there's only like 2 or 3 that I think are really bad. There's just some that are pretty average, and then the rest are good. But it's like, can I really be bothered to put myself through that? Because you have to get an A rank on the good path, an A rank on the dark path, and an A rank on the neutral path. And it's a lot easier said than done. Because if you're on the hero path, every dark point you get acts as like a minus. So if you like kill a bunch of good guys by accident on your way to the goal, it doesn't matter how good your hero score is, your dark score will act as like a negative and will just rip it to shreds. Equally vice versa, if you're going for the dark route, if you end up destroying any of Black Doom's minions, it will work against you. But there are a plethora of glitches and exploits in Shadow that would make it far more manageable, so it wouldn't be the end of the world. And I don't know if I'd be able to really... If it dropped at the same time as, say, Riders or Heroes, I would play one of them first. It was just I'd eventually go do Shadow sort of thing. Like, I would do it, and I'd probably do it quite quickly afterwards. I wouldn't want it lingering over my head of, you need to do this, Robert, with a gun pointed at me. But I would... If it drops with Heroes or Riders, especially if it drops with Riders, because that's one of my all-time favourite racing games, I would stream them first, you know? Which one had you help with Maria and you had to destroy the Chaos prototypes? That was the Doom. That was the one I absolutely despised. It took you like 25 minutes because you always missed one and the level's a goddamn maze. Yeah, that's the Doom. Or Lost Colony, because Lost Colony also uses the... Colony, sorry. Also uses the same level design. You just start in a different spot. One of those two had the Maria mission and the prototypes. But the Maria mission was at least manageable, because it was like, don't let Maria get hurt, so you just swap out the mission so she, like, despawns, get to the goal ring, then swap it back in. And it's like, okay, done. But yeah, the Doom or Space Colony, I can't say Colony consistently, Jesus, was that one. Central City is where it's a giant city block it drops you in, and there's 5 robotic generators you have to destroy, and you're under a time limit. And the time limit's actually kind of tight. I don't really like time limits anyway, and it was like, that was just like, ugh. It just doesn't help at all. But it'd be worth it because the last story and the true final boss are actually pretty enjoyable in my opinion. Or the last path, I think it's called, the level. I actually think they're pretty fun. It makes it almost worth it to do the whole game 10 times. I think it's more that you have to... It's not that you do the whole game 10 times, because obviously you break off the different paths and do different levels and you can do different missions. It's the fact that you have to do Westopolis, aka Stage 1, 10 times. You get so sick of the level by the time you 100% it, because you have to do it so many goddamn times. Anyway, this plays Kirara? But if base Riders drops, fuck, oh, we're gonna have some fun with Riders if that drops on the backwards compatibility list. I'm telling you right now, it would be more than one stream, even if we finish it in one. I love that game. I'd fuck around with different builds, do different characters, I'd show off different gears and what makes them special. I'd show off some of the crazier shortcuts in the track, like how in Digital Dimension, you can straight up jump off the goddamn track and there's a rail off the side in the heaven zone of it. Or how in the hell zone at the start, there's a big UE that you at the start where you jump off a ramp, and on a higher platform, if you immediately do a sharper U-turn and jump backwards off the track, you can go out of bounds and land in a later part of the track. To like skip about, it's only skipped about 15 seconds, but in a race, yeah, you've just gone from last to first. Or like the absolute like risk takers, like you're playing as a speed or flight character and you're right behind a power type and you see them turn down the power corridor, so you fucking follow them down it and like hug their ass just so then they break through all the obstacles and you don't get hit by anything. Anyway, the prophecy room. This is where the people from the village would come to perform the oracle's ritual. The oracle's ritual? My role was to deliver the words of God. But that day, things were different. Someone broke the urn. Yes, the elders are very upset. We're having a hard time trying to calm them down. It is the village heirloom, after all. To make matters worse, multiple witnesses say they saw Kaito and Yuka leaving the shrine. Oh no, they broke it. And this is why Kirara hates Kaito so much, because he got Yuka in serious trouble. Then it's likely one of them broke the urn. Some have even been saying it's the Oracle's fault for not predicting it. The Oracle's fault? Unfortunate. What if we told them the Oracle demanded we break the urn? That's a terrible idea. They'd never forgive you for having not consulting them first. With the amount of elders in our village, you're finished if you anger them, even with your Oracle. Imagine if they announced the Generations 2. Yeah, To be honest, I'd be more excited for that than I am right this second for Frontiers. And that's not to say I'm not throwing Frontiers out the door entirely. I must stress, when I saw both the IGN footages, I came away thinking promising but troubled. That there's a lot there that looks interesting, that looks like could be fun, but it looks unfinished by a horrendous stretch, and I'm like, it's like, well, that's why a lot of people have been demanding to find out how old the build is, and like hyper-analyzing little things to see if they can figure it out. We have figured out, because of those hyper-analytics, that the build that IGN have been playing is at least old enough for a model change. Because in the newest teasers and official screenshots on the website, Sonic's model is radically different than the one IGN showed playing. Like, Sonic's got a darker shade to him, he's got longer quills, there's more like actual animation in his animations. At least look at what it looks like from the screenshots. It's hard to see until we see it in motion. But it looks like the IGN build was older. However, if it's only like 2 or 3 months older, I don't think that's enough time for me to feel confident in its holiday release. You know? That's not enough time for me to feel like they're gonna turn it around by it. But if they turn around and be like, oh yeah, this build is from like last November, then I'm like, okay, sure, it'll probably be fine by launch. I'll have a little bit, you know, I'll have more faith. But I'm also aware, like, people are like demanding it gets delayed, and it's like, no. Look at what Sega have been saying somewhat recently in like professional interviews and business calls. They've made no secret that they are 110% banking on Frontiers' success to please their investors. The moment it's pleasing investors, one major problem kicks in, and that's deadlines. You can't delay something so it'll just piss off the investors, because investors don't care about quality, they care about timing. So they don't care if it's like an absolute piece of shit's going to be released. If that piece of shit has to come out in October, it will come out in goddamn October. It doesn't matter. It's what doomed so many goddamn Sonic games in the past. It's what doomed Forces, because it had to be out to please investors. It's what doomed Secret Rings, because it had to be out to please investors. It was one of many things that doomed 06 or 16 odd years ago. You know, like, it's a horrible cycle that they're still in. But no, Sega have made no secret. They keep on talking about how they need Frontiers to be good, how they need it to review well, they need it to be. It's like, why do you need it so bad to do all these things perfectly? Oh, it's because you're banking on it doing well to please your investors, meaning those deadlines aren't changing. So the people screaming for a delay, it's like, it's not happening. Because it's not Sega you're trying to get a delay out of, it's Sega's investors, and you're never going to be able to get through to them, because they don't give a fuck. And that's like the biggest thing. So it's like, how old the build is IGN got is entirely what I'm sitting on to get an idea of whether Frontiers will actually be enjoyable, or whether it's going to crash and burn. People that are saying it's going to be the next 06, I think, are radically blowing it out of proportion, because no, it's not. The game works. We can see that it works and is functioning, and, you know, that's more that can be said about 06. And I think it's a real fucking shame that, you know, 16 years, like, it's been longer. Sonic 06 has been out longer than the anniversary it represents. Let it go. You know? Let it go, journalists. Let it go, fandom. It doesn't matter anymore. The game is 16 years old. Sega has changed a lot. The writing team that made 06 is not the same team that are making the modern Sonic games. The director of 06 is not the same director nowadays, you know? Like, the entirety of Sonic team is an entirely different beast from 06. Stop fucking comparing it to 06. Let it go. Even as soon as Unleashed, that comparison became wavered back in 08, and it's like, come on. And I feel like it feels like journalists and like a percentage of the fandom just can't accept that 06 was, you know, 16 years ago now. It doesn't matter. It means nothing anymore. That game was forever ago. It's fun for all the wrong reason. I'd get the purple ring, go out of bounds to the bosses. Yeah, I would. I'm Sonic's story, like Sonic's levels are, and Shadow's actual story, like the story mode, are guilty pleasures for me. I fucking loved Unleashed. Unleashed is still up there, like one of my favourite Sonic games. And I love both the PS2/Wii version as well as the HD version, because the PS2 version had a few things the HD version didn't. The main one being the Gaia Temples. I love the Gaia Temples in the PS2 and Wii version. If you don't know what they are, they're essentially, before you went out into the levels, you went into these little hub rooms, which was like literally the Gaia Temple. It had a unique track that played, that only plays in one cutscene in the HD version, which I think is a shame, because it's the most nostalgic, like one of the most nostalgic Sonic tracks in the franchise for me. But, you essentially were in these box rooms, and like to the left was like your warp, so you could quickly travel to other countries instead of having to go back open to the world map, which was nice. In front of you was a sun door and a moon door to go to, like, you know, the sun levels and night levels. But then to your right, and sometimes off inside the left corner, were these puzzle box rooms. And you could only access them if you had enough sun and moon medals. And in them, they were genuine puzzle box rooms. Like, you would walk into them, the camera would zoom out, show you like all these little contraptions and gimmicks and systems and lights and whatnot, and you had to stop and process it all, figure it all out, and find a way forward to figure all the puzzles. And as a kid, as a 9-year-old kid, I spent so long in there in the PS2 version because I loved figuring them out. As a kid who also grew up with Tomb Raider, the idea of puzzle rooms was brilliant for me. And your rewards for things like permanent life ups. And what I mean by that is, it would make it so if you game overed, your life reset would be higher than just +2. So you could eventually make it, like, I think the highest you could get it was, you could make it so after a game over, you would reset to +14. And it was like, that was such a cool little thing, and it's like, it's kind of weird that they never tried to bring anything like that back. And then you go to the HD version, they don't exist because they have the hub worlds instead. And the hub worlds are nice and really fun as well, don't get me wrong. But man, did I miss the Gaia temples because they weren't the puzzle boxes, you know? But then the HD version makes up for it for just, you know, having better everything else. You know, better visuals. It's still one of the best looking Sonic games in the franchise. I genuinely like the Werehog levels, so it was even more of a win-win. It's like the longest Sonic game in the series still. It's like 22 hours. Yeah, Shadow 06 had really good character growth that people overlook because it's 06. Plus his voice acting there was great, and Silver's underrated. Silver is my son as far as I'm concerned. He's my boy, and I wish he got a second chance. I've always treated Silver as my son. It's a stupid thing. I go, oh, there's my boy, every time he shows up in something. It's why I played him as a bit in Team Sonic Racing on my birthday stream a few weeks back. It's like, he's my son as far as I'm concerned. He's my kid. But yeah, Shadow's story arc in 06 felt like it wrapped a nice bow on his character through SA2 and Heroes. I avoid Shadow because Shadow's story feels like a fanfiction at points. But, like, Shadow isn't the edgelord people make him out to be. He's actually quite endearing and charming, even in SA2, his origin. Like, he smiles when Amy mistakes him for Sonic. He grins when he does something cool and someone comments on it. Like, he has fun. I don't know, my boy Ketchy. Yeah, fair enough. And then Heroes continued it with him, you know, getting the found family with Rouge and Omega. And, like, being able to find his way there. Like, when, like, Sonic challenges him to a friendly match, instead of Shadow getting all edgy, I don't have time for this, or anything like that, what does he do? Get the stupidest, widest grin, lower his eyes to make himself look all smug, and then run straight at Sonic. He's like, fuck yeah. He's cocky. He's a rival. And then Shadow happens, and it's suddenly, I don't care what happens to humans. It's like taking candy from a baby, except way easier. You know, and all that shit. And it's like, what happened here? And he goes to 06, and it's like it completely ignores whatever the hell was going on in Shadow, and goes back to him caring about humanity again. Because that was the biggest thing. He cared about humans in SA2. Even the strangers, he had no idea who they were. He didn't let random humans get caught in the limelight. He made sure it was only who he was after he was hurt. He protected people. He protected his friends. He went out of his way to backtrack to save Rouge, even when he didn't trust her yet. On the prison island, he had a heart. And then you go to Shadow, and suddenly it's pathetic humans, and it's like, who wrote this? This isn't Shadow. But that's the version of Shadow everyone points to when they say edgy the hedgy. It's like, no, the game is edgy as fuck, but Shadow isn't. And then you go to 06, and it's like 06, Mephiles straight up tells him humans gonna turn on him, and he proves it by showing the future version of him. Yeah, he works for Gun. He works for the people that are out for his blood. That alone shows what kind of person Shadow is. That he's prepared to put his own biases and past beside to do what he feels is the right thing. And it's like, the fact, like, Mephiles shows him that humanity's gonna turn on him. What does he do? He basically says, I'll deal with it when I get to that. I'm still gonna fight you because I don't like you. Like, he still decides to side with the humanity he knows could turn on him. And it's like, there's so much with 06. Like, I changed Sonic's story because Sonic's story is just Princess Elise gets kidnapped, you save her, she gets kidnapped, you save her, you get kidnapped, and it happens like 4 or 5 times, the credits roll. Like, Sonic is the most boring story in it. Like, if I could go back, I'd change that. But Silver's story, I think, was fascinating. I think what let him down was his gameplay. And Shadow's story is one of my favorite, like, Sonic stories there, because it was so well done, in my opinion. It was just, you know, held back by the game it was attached to. But a lot of this is starting to remedy itself because of Project 06. Chaos X's Project 06 is coming along beautifully. And I even watched like professional speedruns of Project 06, and it's absolutely insane what people can do with MP06 now. Like, the entirety of Sonic's story and Shadow's story is done. If the world makes me their enemy, then I'll fight like I always have. Yeah, you get it. I loved what they did with Shadow in 06, and the most depressing thing is that they never like did anything good with him again afterwards. Afterwards, they used him as like a cheerleader in Generations. You got this, Sonic. And then the Sonic Boom universe. I know it's not canon. It's supposed to be more comical and whatnot, but they leaned into the edginess so goddamn much that it was like the only thing I didn't like about Boom, the TV show we're talking about, not the games. The games I just don't like in general. I say that I didn't mind Fire and Ice. I Fire and Ice I'll give the defense, but Shadowed Crystal I found kind of boring, and Rise of Lyric as well. Rise of Lyric. But then it was like little things like the Team Sonic Racing, the animated promo. The original Shadow would have slowed down the car to pick up Rouge when her car broke down. But in the animated thing, Shadow just speeds past, and I'm like, no, he wouldn't do that. Come on, guys. It's like they feel like they're leaning into the edginess too much, and it's like, no, like, it's partially my fault, I guess, because I grew up with the Dark Era, and as much as it gets dicked at a lot, I loved the Dark Era. I miss the Dark Era. It's why I want like some of the PS2 games to get remastered. It's why I want Unleashed to come back. It's why like I'd happily go through the Adventure games again. Adventure 1 all the way to Black Knight, there were some genuinely amazing stories in there and wonderful character development. The reason why Shadow is so loved isn't just because he's an edgy, darker Sonic. It's because he was really well written, and so people were endeared to him. You know. A lot of them seem to forget that. They seem to make him like the edgy guy that shows up, and it's like, no, he was so much more. It's why I'm like so excited that Jeff Fowler has confirmed that in the 3rd Sonic film they're pushing for a PG-13. Because he said if they're doing Shadow's story, they want to do it right, and I'm like, that's the best news you could have told me. The fact that they're pushing for PG-13. SA2 is my favorite because it's grounded. I personally slightly prefer SA1 as an entirety, but I do prefer SA2's story. Like with SA2, I'm not the biggest fan of the mech missions. I should say that I'm not a big fan of Tails' mech missions. Eggman, I think, gets the better end of the deal because he gets better upgrades. And as much as I didn't mind them, I wasn't as keen on the Knuckles and Rouge levels as I were back on the Knuckles levels in the original. And it wasn't just because of like the whole you could like track all 3 emeralds at once instead of just one at a time. That didn't really bother me that much as a kid. It was the fact that the levels are, some of those levels are gargantuan. Fucking mad space. Like it just, some of those levels kind of wore on me a little bit, even as a kid. Whilst the Sonic and Shadow levels are just like pure bliss. It's pure Sonic 3D like brilliance, and it's like I love them. So it's like I do love SA2. Yeah, Mad Space can go though. It's like I do love him. It's like I love the Shadow level. I love Radical Highway. I love Skyrail. I kind of prefer Green Forest over White Forest, but that's just my preference. And I know it's kind of a hot take, but I kind of prefer Shadow's Final Chase over Sonic's Final Rush. I mean, slightly though. I just prefer the fact that there's a lot more of a pacing in Shadow's final level. Like there are points where you more naturally slow down to figure shit out, and then other parts where you more naturally speed up. Whilst Final Rush, as the name implies, you just go at like breakneck speed for the entire thing, and it's like it's really cool and like a real good thrill ride. But I kind of like the puzzle box of figuring out how to go fast in Final Chase more. Maybe that's just me though. But in Sonic's levels, I mean, fucking take your pick. Most of them are iconic, you know. Like, the only one people tend to not like is Cosmic Gadget just because of that last section at the end. But I loved it anyway as a kid. But as a whole, I kind of prefer SA1 more because I loved, like, how much more... But they were still pretty linear for the most part, don't get me wrong, but I liked how more non-linear some of the levels were. Like, they were slightly more open and more loose in places. And I liked them for that. I liked the Tails races. I liked... Even if they were kind of easy when you knew what to do because of how, like, exploited Tails' shortcuts and abilities can be. Knuckles' levels were really fun and a unique idea, especially at the time, because people were like, oh, how's Knuckles gonna play? Oh, it's a scavenger hunt. Okay. Amy I've been endeared to, but I think her biggest drawback is that she only has, like, 3 levels, and it's like, ugh. If they gave her, like, 1 or 2 more, and maybe gave her, like, another upgrade, I think she would have been fine. Big we just all laugh at because, you know, tech demo. It was to show off the new fishing gadget and whatnot, and, like, tech demo. And I really enjoyed Gamma's story. I think Gamma's one of the better characters of the franchise, and the reason why he's one of the better ones is because he's dead, so they can't ruin him. Chowgun took a lot of my time? Yes. 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 Oh, yes. The grind was real. I remember getting like all the expert races done in SA1, being really proud of myself, and be like, yeah, I have mastered the Chow Garden. I know exactly how to handle it. Going into SA2 and realizing they added a lot more layers to it, and I was like, oh no. What do you mean there's a hero garden and a dark garden? What do you mean there's a school system now? What do you mean? I hope the Chow Garden comes back at some point in Sonic's career. It is baffling how the Chow Garden has been one of the most highly requested things since as far back as, like, Unleashed, at least as far as I remember. Like, people have really wanted Chow Garden to come back, and it's 2022 and still hasn't come back at all. It's like, how? How are we in 2022 and it still doesn't come back? That's easy money. Fucking make it a mobile game, and that's easy money, Sega. You know? They could literally just, like, make SA2's Chow Garden, add a shit ton more racetracks to it. Maybe like homogenize some of the systems, since you know you won't be able to just run around in levels and whatnot, and just like slap it into a mobile game, and it would sell like hotcakes. And make like the microtransactions like little cosmetics for your Chow. Like make it so like the microtransactions are like the animals, and you get the drive orbs by like playing mini games with them or something. You know, like Sega, hire me. Like, you've got a plan here, you know? This is easy money to make here. Everyone would buy... I think everyone would genuinely just go, Chow Garden on the phone? Bing! You know? I don't think I ever got a Devil Chow in the end, because I think I only ever went in as Tails. So I always looked after my Chow because, you know, empathy being a thing. I can play my PS3 SA2. There's a part of me that hopes so too, but there's a part of me that's hesitant because it's going to be streaming only if it's a PS3 title. And there's a part of me that would rather them not, and then actually just port the adventure games so it's more consistent. Because I don't want to have input lag on, you know, a Sonic game. When you consider how fast and active they're supposed to be, input lag could be a death... Sorry, excuse me. Input lag could be a death sentence for it. Like, that's my only, like, hesitancy with it. It's like, as much as I'd love that, there's a part of me that wouldn't, because I'd rather them just port it to modern platforms at some point. And who knows, in this Sonic Central later today, they could announce that, you know? Anyway, with the amount of elders in our village, if you finish if you anger them, even with your oracle. We must tell them it was Yuka. No! Because the mayor's son was Kaita. What? If Kaita is blamed for this, my status and influence on the assembly would be gone. In other words, I wouldn't be able to support you in the elections. It's for the best. Kirara, you understand, don't you? You must tell them it was Yuka. No! When I asked them about it, they said that Kaita was the one who broke it, and that he dragged Yuka along with him. But Kaito is the mayor's son, and my dad had to protect his relationship with the mayor, so she was exploited and had to hurt her closest friend. That's why she hates Kaito so much. Got it. No way. That's horrible. They wanted you to blame an innocent girl? What did you do, Kirara? Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all taking the time to gather... No, that's the father speaking. I appreciate you taking the time to gather with us today. I hereby inform you that my daughter, Kirara, has received an important vision regarding the urn. Go on, Kirara. Tell them. Oh shit, demon! A big one too! Kuno, get back! Yeah, you can't fight. I'll be fine, you just wait there. You still got only just woken up. You don't want you exhausting yourself. Don't worry, we'll take care of this real quick and get your memory back. I have to remember whose voice is whose. Thank you. I'll leave it to you. Alright, we got this. Oh, this thing looks... Okay, this is kind of a cool intro for the boss. Very effect heavy, but it works. Bad feeling about this. Focus, everyone. Okay, give us something. E for recovery speed. Boost that. Give us a good head start. Especially now she's already been fucking stunned. Jesus Christ. Please recover. And it's major boss, so of course we get to see the animation again. Any Sonic game will get triple pre-orders as soon as they reveal the Trail Garden feature. Yeah, right, exactly. It would just be easy money regardless of what they do. It's just baffling to me that they haven't done anything. How many attacks have you got, woman? Magic attack, pierce damage, deals magic attack, deals magic damage, inflicts binds. Like, oh, your status conditions. Pierce resistance down. Lowers element resistance. Use Sparkle Ball. I didn't realise she'd become such a toolkit. My goodness. I've just always found it strange. It's like been one of the most requested features since at least... I'll wait for it to get closer. Since at least Unleashed. I think that's at least as early as I remember. And yet we still haven't got anything from it, you know? It just seems so strange. But I would have thought that would have been a no-brainer, that they would have done it eventually, considering the demand, at least at some point, but they've just never got back to it. And although it wasn't as good, the Advance 1 and Advance 2, if you unlocked it, Chao Gardens were enjoyable as well. Even if no one unlocked the version in Advance 2, because getting all 7 Chaos Emeralds, I think it was with 4 characters, was kind of rough. Actually, I think it was 3, because I think 4 was how you unlocked Amy. Which was another thing that I didn't agree with. Having to get the Chaos Emeralds individually with each character in Advance 2 to unlock more things. Getting all the Chaos Emeralds once got you the final boss. Doing it twice got the sound test. Doing it 3 times was the Chao Garden. And then doing it 4 times unlocked Amy. And I can't remember what happens if you did it with Amy as well. It was just, you know, that's kind of a big ask as for a game that had like the most annoying scavenger hunt of the series. Oh, I was too late. Okay, it has a bit of a wind up. So like, okay. I'll wait for the next one. Gotcha. Okay, that's the timing for it. Oh, it delayed it, that cheeky fucker. I'm just gonna go all in then. Okay, I did get the special, good. I wish one-on-one fights showed up more often and not just end bosses, because they're so fun. I think that killed it, or at least did a lot. No, it did kill it, Jesus. Oh, wait, let's see how this ended. Please tell me you didn't, like you stuck to your guns. Never thought too deeply about my power. I simply accepted it as something I had and did what my father told me. Yeah, 1v1's amazing. 1v1's like the most fun feature in this game, and I wish it showed up more often. It's you get 4 options: buff yourself, dodge, counter, and attack. And it's like counter, the timing's kind of tight, but if you can hit it, you get loads of damage out of it. And if you get so much damage done to the boss before the time limit runs out, you get a special finisher, which often kills bosses. Boss dodge is the more safe option if you just want to get out, you know, not get hit. And depending on who was the last character to attack, depends on who starts the 1v1. So like that, even though I did it without, that could have been with Shio or Kokoro if they got the last hit before the boss ignited it. I realized that was wrong. All power comes with the risk of hurting others. I nearly lost sight of what was most important to me. My father brought me expensive food and presents, but what I wanted couldn't be purchased. All I needed was a single friend who could understand me. Look! Why is the camera like on Al when Kokoro is talking? A fragment! Yep, so that's the end of the dungeon. I can't betray my friend. She's the only one who believes in me. Kirara. You're not seriously going to. Kaita broke the urn. Kirara, no! No, I didn't. It was Yuka. These are the words of the Divine. Kaita lies to protect himself. This is the Divine's will. Thank goodness. I know now that I can trust myself. Oh, Kirara was scared that she said Yuka. When she was getting on memory back, she was scared that the final thing she said was Yuka. But no, she was a good girl. But that ended up getting her isolated from her own family. You know, the explosive father suddenly lost all his power. He's going to probably be very unamused by that. And the mayor lost his status, probably equally not so amused. Everyone. You all have my thanks. Without you, I never would have gotten my memory back. And learned that I was able to help Yuka. I'm so glad. I knew that you would make the right choice. Was everything okay afterwards? I imagine your dad was upset. He was furious, as expected. He forbade me from seeing Yuka, and from then on all I did was act as the Oracle. No way. But I was fine with that. I was able to protect what was most important to me. I also realized I didn't have to blindly follow my parents. I could make my own choices. Kirara. No wonder you're such like a small scruffpot. You've probably been treated like pure shit for the rest of your days ever since. Like locked in a room kind of pure shit. You know, abused. We need to protect this girl. Let's go back to the school. I have plenty more I'd like to talk to you and talk with you all about. Trophy unlocked. What is most important? A tangled thread, a whispered prayer. It's kind of creeping off the edge there, but whatever. That crack's getting worrying big again. You mean Kirara and Shio weren't in AASA? Oh right, that thing. I completely forgot about that thing. No, it was a different organization. The AASA is how some of the characters became reflectors. They remembered that they were basically pulled in by like a special research facility. And they did stuff there, and then they eventually ended up here, so they know there's links to them. But these two are outliers, it seems. I see. I was hoping we'd get new information on AASA. What was this organization you were in like? Just like ASA is focused on getting rid of the ash, but its methods were different. Our group believed the best solution was to resurrect the gods. What the fuck? Resurrecting gods? What the fuck? I said JRPG. Of course it's a god. I wonder if we're going to resurrect Darth from the first game. I remember a little about the real world and about the gods. Maybe we should get Yuzu and Yuki. Oh wait, Yuki? I forgot. Yuki stayed behind in this dungeon. How strange for her. Yeah, we should all hear this. New talent types unlocked for Kirara. Oh god, everyone's got new skills. Fragment slots, okay, that makes sense. Fragment slots and element resist. Attack up, HP up. Fragment slots. Attack up. Boink. Precision, additional recovery. Ooh, so she is full support then. She isn't going to be a playable character, which I'm fine with because we've already got enough of them. kind of god. Let's head to the classroom. Well, there's a lot of other things that have been asked for us first. It's rather windy today. Now think about it, I don't know how this place is powered. What if we do if the electricity went out? It might be a good idea to consider how we would handle various situations before they occur. We could make a power generator. Do you think solar energy would work, or maybe wind? Might not be completely reliable, but wind might be better since it can generate power at night. Sounds good. They'll make us a wind generator then. We can't have any nighttime power outages leaving you shivering in the dark. Who set... Okay, so if I get a generator, please be small so I could fit it somewhere over here. Like put it in that corner or something. I'm running out of room elsewhere. A versatile screw. Can I make that? I need quaking sand. Jesus, that's quite a name. Can I make quaking sand? No, I mean, we haven't picked up a single one. I'm seeing an icon for a character moment up here. What's going on up here? Huh, I could have sworn it was here. I wonder where it went. Shio, Reina, and myself. These books sure have started to pile up. This might be a good chance to organize them. What do you think? Yeah, good idea. I like how the characters here have daily schedules. They could have easily just made them stand in one spot. Yeah, I love that. Like, each character is their own thing. Like, there was a point, I think it was like session 2 or 3, where Kokoro was cleaning a window whilst I was like preparing to start up the stream. I started all the prep, I was setting up, the camera was on her, I was doing the prep up and whatnot, I started the stream, glanced up at the screen, I was like, where the fuck did she go? She'd like finished cleaning, put the stuff away, and gone outside to enjoy some of the sun. And it was just like she'd done her own things whilst I thought she was just going to stay cleaning until I advanced time or did something. No, she went out and did her own thing to enjoy some of the afternoon sun before it completely set in. And I was like, that's kind of cool. I was like, they actually have their own like personalities and little like things that they do and wall around and find and whatnot. Especially compared to the first game, when in the first game every character, you know, did stand still. The shelves are the best place, but it looks like they're full. Why don't we separate them into piles by genre? There are too many genres. I think that would end up taking more space. How about a Dewey Decimal System then? What's that? It's a system that libraries use to sort books. When you borrow a book from the library, there's usually a little sticker or with a number on the spine, right? Apparently that number is assigned according to the Dewey Decimal System. Wow, I never knew that. I'm not sure if I'd be able to memorize all these different numbers. It might be more effective to put the books we use most often at the top. How do we decide what we use most often? Everyone likely uses different books at different times. It would probably be easier just to put them in alphabetical order, either by author or by title. What do you think, Al? Me? Are you even listening? I was listening, but I feel like anyway works. Everyone seems to be taking this quite seriously. I should probably choose just one thing. Oh, fuck. So, Shiho is the Dewey Decimal. Hina is just put the favorites at the top. And Reina is just put it in alphabetical, for fuck's sake. I think Shio makes the most sense because, Reina, you have to know the book title off by heart. You have to already know it. Or if you do it by author, even worse, you have to already know who the author is to find it. You know? If you don't know, if you're looking for Game of Thrones and you don't know it's written by George, you'll be looking forever until you find G, you know? I think Shio's is the most tactical. It would take a while to learn for the other girls, but it makes the most sense. If they use it at the libraries, it must be good, right? You think so too, Al? I'm sure there's a good reason that professionals use it. Plus, it'll help us find stuff way quicker when we learn it. 2 birds with 1 stone. May actually be able to remember where everything is this way. Now that we've decided that, how high do we stack them? How about in stacks of 10? Feels like it could be dangerous if someone knocked them over. How about a 5 in a stack? If we divide them like that, it'll take up too much space. Listen, I think you're all great. But I'm so glad I'm in the other classroom. Oh, you're right, they all live up here now, because there's more characters. Reina's up here, Shio's up here, Hina's up here. Well, Scruffpot is downstairs, Coco's downstairs, and Yuki is downstairs. Which is kind of surprising. Like, I've kind of danced around this, I didn't want to spoil it, but the girl Reina's deeply in love with is Yuki. And it's like, I'm kind of surprised that they moved to separate rooms. I get that it's probably Reina trying to be respectful because she knows that Yuki doesn't remember and doesn't want to, like, have to share a room and it be awkward. But it's still, like, I was kind of like, huh? They're not going to even address that? They're just kind of like, they went to different rooms? Okay. Because I'm still leaning on that. I'm still hoping. Like, it literally, it's right there in her profile. Reina was in a serious but somewhat awkward girl. She was never afraid to speak her mind, which unfortunately led to a rather lonely school life. But then she met Yuki, a sweet and cheerful girl who couldn't have been more different than her. Reina was captivated by her, as Yuki had been what she did not. But Ash syndrome would soon tear them apart. However, this was not enough to make Reina falter. She searched far and wide for Yuki, ultimately stumbling upon an Ash research institution known as the AASA. There, she learned that she had the aptitude to become a reflector. She loved Yuki so much, she chased after her when she got hospitalized. She found what hospital she went to and chases the ends of the earth. It doesn't say in the profile, but she actually started learning medicine. She started studying medicine and whatnot solely so she could try and find a cure to the condition Yuki had to save the person she love's life. So now we've got Kirara. We should have a look at what she's got. July 7th, 147 centimeters. Oh wow, you are a short bean. She likes the arts and collecting dolls, dislikes waking up early in crowds. As a child, Kirara was both revered by her village and exploited by her parents for her ability to hear the voices of the divine. One day, after her parents asked her to falsely accuse her friends of something she hadn't done, she refused her parents and protected her only friend. In exchange, however, she was forced to throw away her status in the village and the reverence people once had for her. It can be hard to decide what is truly important for you, not even the divine can tell you. Is anyone who's like close to my birthday? We don't know Yuki's birthday. I'm May 20th. It's like, I think. You have the exact same birthday as my oldest brother. Actually, my oldest brother is July 22nd. That's kind of cool. He's not into anime at all, so that'd be a waste to tell him. But still. This will be difficult to understand, so I ask that you use your imagination a bit rather than just rely on logic. The world we come from as a system. A system? Once every million years, a god creates a new world system. These are the Sephira. Oh god, we are going into the first game then. We're talking about the Sephira. We are going to talk about things like Darth again. They are beings that battle over the position of overseer of this world. Yep. Because we fought the Sephirots in the first game. The gods are playing a game of musical chairs with our world. A game with one turn every million years. And the millionth year came about, but the new overseer wasn't born. Wait, you mean... Oh, you mean when you beat up Darth in the first game? Maybe, Hinako? Let's say that Hinako is right, and that the Sephira was the Overseer. That means, if the Overseer was to be defeated, there would be no one to oversee the world, leaving it out of balance. It's some kind of anomaly, a bug occurred. Then, the world systems wouldn't function normally. In response, the system would try to reset the world. It goes screwy, then it resets, just like a computer, huh? Then as part of the resetting process, the current world gets destroyed. Is that correct? Indeed. So, the whole world resets? Nothing like that ever happened in my world. Does that mean my world has someone ruling over it? I don't get it. I see, so that's why the ash destroys people. The ash is a substance which carries energy, just energy greatly inhibits the flow of one's life force and vitality. When a person inhales the ash, they soon develop a fever and cough. The symptoms progress until the patient's organs fail. That is ash syndrome. Currently, there is no scientific explanation for the origin of the ash that suddenly began falling worldwide. And that was what poisoned Yuki and got her hospitalized. So the fact that she's here and well terrifies me, because the first game had a big plot twist when one of the characters was actually dead and just had been willed back into existence but was still dead. And I'm terrified they're going to do it again with Yuki and pull the rug out from under us and be like, nah, Yuki's actually dead and that's why she can't use any reflector powers. Like, I'm terrified they're going to do that. And they're going to say, actually, she's already dead and, like, we couldn't save her. And it's just because Reina's deep, passionate love for her made a version of her exist in this realm or some shit. I'm terrified they're going to drop that on us at some point. The later we go without Yuki's Heartscape showing up, the more concerned that plot twist is going to be dropped on us. You know, like, if it's earlier-ish, like, at least then it could be happier. But if it's, like, super late game, it might be that they turn around and be like, no, she's dead. And it's not only humans. The ash will eventually destroy the world itself. Of course, people tried to do something about the ash, but I don't remember what came of it. I also don't remember. Apologies. Could we be in this world because we were unable to stop the ash from falling? I think you might be right. I'm sure we're going to be just fine. It sounds like two big organizations were researching the ash, right? With that many people, they must have found some way to fix everything. So this is all because of our battle with the Sephira. But that Sephira said it was going to merge all humans into one being, right? That sounds like bad news to me. It's basically the same as the world ending. You did what you had to do. Oh yeah, Hina, it's kind of weighing on her that this might be her fault. Hina's kind of feeling like, oh, I might have caused this by beating up Darth last game. Because Darth's grand plan was fix all the world's problems by merging all of humanity into one sentient being. And Hina went, fuck that, that sounds terrible. And so fought against Darth and won. I'm sure anyone in your place would have done the exact same thing, Hinako. Maybe. We're gathering information nicely. We should soon know the truth about the outside world. There are still more reflectors we've yet to find. It all depends on their memories. Okay, can we go back to happy shit, please? I don't like the tension and like the heavy music that was like kind of going in the background. Yuzu told me that I needed to call all the reflectors here. Maybe she wants to build a new facility. That's the only reason I can think of. Oh yeah! The Extreme School Makeover Planning Committee is back again, baby! But where do we start? We have no idea what we're supposed to be working towards. Maybe we should start by thinking about what kind of facilities we would like to have at the school. Booty cam. Just have it dead center. I know it's cutting across all the characters, but you know, like that, their booty was like front and center. Oh. There is one thing that this school lacks. What's that? A bath. We have showers. That is not what I mean. I wish to soak in a bathtub. Yeah, I want a bath too. Yeah, in the first game they had a thing where overnight it would ask you if you wanted to study, prepare lunch, or get in the bath, or go straight to bed. And depending on what you did, you got different benefits out of it. If you studied, you would get an event that would boost our stats. If you made lunch, you'd get an extra cutscene with a friend in the morning, like a random friend. And if you went to bath, she would have a more resistance to status conditions and whatnot because she would feel refreshed. And because Hina has a damaged knee, like when you was in the bath, it would give you the option to like massage her knee slightly to make it so she could have slight bonuses as well. So there was an encouragement for it. So Hina, like in the story, got a bath almost every other night. So for her, of course she wants to have a bath bag. She's like, that's like a comfort zone for her. I just hope they don't make it as fan servicey as they did in the first one. Building a bath from scratch seems rather difficult though. We wouldn't need to. No? Then how? We can turn a swimming pool into a giant bathtub. I see. All we need is to fill it with hot water. Totally! It would be way more fun than building a normal bath. Alright, then it's decided. You seem really excited about this, Inako. Well, I used to take a bath every day back in our world, even in the summer. Kind of like on Persona 4 when you made lunch. Yeah, exactly like that. It's exactly like that. That's 100% what it was like. But it was literally like you, because the first game had more of, it didn't have a day and night system naturally. It was you could hang out with people, you could do X, Y, and Z, but the moment you either went to a dungeon or went out on a date on someone, time would advance, and afterwards it would be the evening. It was literally like a Persona game. And then in the evening, you'd be at home, and it would then come up with a list saying, what do you want to do at home before the next day? But the thing that made the first game kind of helpful, especially for completion, is the plot would not progress until you did one particular side quest. There was always a side quest that User in Line would give you that would be reach a certain level, do a certain amount of the side quests, and have your ratings, which your ratings went up by doing side quests anyway, at a certain point. If you just chose not to level up because you leveled up by beating side quests and you just get a point to spend, if you chose not to spend them, you would never complete that quest, or would never be asked to turn it in. And because that was a plot required quest, days would go on infinitely. So it was very easy for you to max out every single character's not social links, because they had that in the first game. They had a bar, and every time you hang out with them, the bar went slightly higher, and you'd get more little cutscenes the higher that bar went, getting more rewards in the process. So, it became a thing to do, was every time like you got a new plot quest, if a new character had been introduced, you just hang out with them like 20 times to get all of their scenes and max them out and get the closest you possibly can with them and get all the rewards tied to them, and then turn in the side quests so you can advance the plot. Whilst this game has a much more natural flow to it and has more of its own identity. I think that's the big thing. The first game I compared to as like a softer Persona in terms of how it handled itself, just with a central theme of empathy, whilst this game feels a lot more like its own, like it's found its own identity, its own personality, and is running with it, and I prefer it because of it. So if I could do that in a bath the size of a pool, oh, that would be heaven. Right? What's with that look? That's almost flirtatious. Alright people, let's get to work on a water heater. Alright, I guess that's the new plot thing we're doing. Oh, hello, Shiho. Sorry to bother you. Do you have some time? I have something I want to talk with you about. I'm not doing anything right now. Let's find a place to talk. Let's go on the date apocalypse. So I imagine there's a whole bunch of more dates to do. What do you want to talk about? Well, do you think I'm okay the way I am? Maybe I should, I don't know, train and learn some kind of special skill or power? What made you think like that? Things are so terrible in the outside world, but I'm no help at all. And here I am saying things that I'm glad that my life was normal. As if? Do you know how inspired I was when I heard you say that? It made me feel like there was a reason to keep on living my normal life. I'm still here right now because of your normalness. What? No matter what happens here in this crazy world, you tried your best to act like everything was normal, like everything was okay. When I go back to the first one, there are 2 or 3 characters that I thoroughly loved that I'd love to go back to, but I probably wouldn't 100% it and do every single date and every single side quest. But I think I would go back to it. I'd probably just, because Jihiro I love to death. Jihiro is a extremely naive, extremely shy, lovable bean, and like there was this one particular batch of flowers in like the school courtyard that took her interest, and she decided for herself to just water them and grow them. And you'd go over there and be like, "You're right, Chi," and she'd just go, "Hi," and you're like, "Nah." And it's like the fact that you could just like every now and then you could give her a little cuddle, or like rub her back and just tell her she's doing okay, or like there was a point where she knew that someone else was doing something bad, but she didn't want them to get in trouble, so kept quiet about it. And it's like, no, it's the right thing. It's like, yeah, it was like the little kid sister you had to look out for, and I loved her to death. Arko was great in the first game. Arko, the reason why I love Yuki in this game is the same reason why I loved Arko in that game, because she's just a little gremlin. But Arko was also a journalist, And so Arko would always like follow you around and whatnot. Well, she'd stand still because, you know, the game wasn't as detailed. But in the story, she would always follow you around because she knew you were up to something. Because it was one of those things where it's like no one knew about the reflectors. You were almost like secret agents in the school. Like she knew he was up to something, but thought it was really inspiring and really cool. And so had a journalist page dedicated to just your sorry ass talking about how she thinks Hina's super cool and like some kind of secret agent warrior like princess that's saving the world. And so Arko was super endearing, whilst also at the same time being a very cheeky gremlin. And then there was also, I can't remember her name. There was this fashionista girl. And you discover that the reason why she's always taking an interest in trying to make Hina super beautiful and always wants to, like, smother her in makeup is because she's actually got a crush on Hina. And, like, really is really interested in Hina. And like they even actually kind of take it a bit of a distance because Hina doesn't feel the same way, unfortunately, but is at least understanding of her love. And there's a lot of little scenes where the girl gets kind of pervy because of her near yandere obsession with Hina. Like it doesn't get like creepy, but there is a point where she's like, "Hey, would you ever be interested in trading underwear?" And Hina's like, "No." And then later on they go to the gym, and when they come out of the gym, Hina goes, "Where's my underwear? Why is that girl's underwear only here? She stole my fucking underwear." And then you track her down and talk to her about it and get kind of like angry at her for it. She's like, "Oh, please." And she's like, Hina's like, "No." Go back. And she's like, "Oh, fine, I'll just take them off right here." She's like, No, we go back to the gym. We'll talk about this. Or like there's a point like when they are actually getting changed, the girl sees Hina's bare back and starts trying to cuddle her from behind because she just gets overwhelmed by her love and like ridiculously like obsessive crush with her. And it's like Hina's like, "Come on, can I go now?" Like it was like she became like she was kind of like I said, she was kind of a perv, but she was charming. And it's like the characters did it for me. Or like how Mao. Like I wonder if we're gonna get a Mao-esque character in this because Mao was the polar opposite of every character. Like Mao like went through similar shit in Hina. Like both Hina and Mao had a career dream right in front of them that was snatched away because of things out of their control. Hina injuring her leg, Mao her parents exploiting her, and so they both had to completely give up on their dream for one reason or another and were left kind of bitter about it. But Hina had friends to support her and find her feet again. Mao didn't, and so it became the half full half empty approach. Mao was a very methodical and dark and bitter human, and it made her a very standout character from the rest of the cast. You know, in a game about empathy and a bunch of the characters being really friendly and nice, having one particular girl kinda hate you because you're so nice was an interesting contrast, and trying to come to an understanding with her, because I don't think she ever truly likes Hina. She just learns, you just find a middle ground, you just learn to understand one another. And I've mentioned it a few times, but I always found it hilarious that they what's the word I'm looking for? They symbolize, that's what I was looking for. They show symbolism of the difference between Hina and Mao by having Hina's underwear be white in the first game and Mao's underwear be black. And I was like, of course they had to make it the underwear that showed the symbolism, but it was to highlight in the most purest form they are opposites, and yet they work together. And I'm curious if a character like that's going to be in this one. Yeah, like there's a point where Hina says if it wasn't for the fact that when she came into the high school, she was immediately met by people who knew her and wanted to be her friend, she absolutely would have become Mao. And because Mao kept to herself and had no one, it's just how it was. But Mao being like the yin-yang kind of trope between Hina and Mao was interesting. Like Narukami and yes. Is it really a spoiler in 2022? I think everyone knows like who the actual killer and the better. Like, don't get me wrong, like as much as I personally am not the biggest fan of Akechi, because I feel like he jumps, like I get why he does what he does, but I feel like he jumped through too many leaps of logic to get to where he is. You want to stop my father, I want to stop my father, but I want to kill you because it's not me stopping my father. You're like, what the fuck? Akechi, calm it down, But I get that what they were trying to do with it. But at the same time, at least for me, what really didn't help is that I felt like they had already nailed that yin-yang, like, same, like, two different sides of the same coin approach that they were going with Joker and Akechi, with Narukami and Adachi, you know? Like, I feel like they'd already done it better with those two, especially in Golden, of how many more scenes they added between those two. Like, you know, I thought like they'd already hit it so perfect, so it became almost too tempting to compare it when it was with Akechi, and I felt like Akechi, let's say, it wasn't bad, and I get why people like him. When I first played it in 2017, I straight up didn't like the character at all, and I didn't get why I wanted to get to him. But I've come around since then. I've grown up a bit and kind of like reevaluated and looked at different things. And like, I can see why better. He's not my cup of tea, but I get why. Like, I get what was going on with him. I get what they were trying to do. I get what they were aiming for. I haven't seen what he's like in Royal to see how they enhance him, but the initial base run of the character, I understand what they were going for and understand why people like him, even if he wasn't my cup of tea. It's just I felt, especially as someone who grew up with Persona 4 so much, it was too easy to compare, and in comparison, I just didn't think it was as interesting as Narukami and Adachi. But I have heard, like, you're not the first to say that he gets a lot better in Royal, because they do a lot more with him. And then eventually I'll go through Royal, it's just, eventually. You tried your best, like everything was normal, like everything was okay. You made me believe it was true. So let's do this together. We don't need to be special. And if we change our minds, that's fine too. Do you not agree? No, that's not it at all. I'm glad. Base Akechi is rough though. Yeah, my biggest issue with Akechi was the leap in logic. He wants to stop Shido. You want to stop Shido. Why does he have to kill you? Because you're in his way? But you're on the same fucking side, you idiot. You know, like, it felt like there was something missing in between that needed to be there that would have helped it make more sense. And I get this because he was obsessively hating his father, but these are people that are helping you defeat the person you hate. Why does it have to be only I can be the one to stop my father, not you? Also, are we ignoring the fact that Akechi, you know, canonically murdered people? People seem quite, like, happy to just forget that. No, no, no. He went into people's consciousness and fucking killed them. Literally killed Haru's dad. Literally killed Haru's dad. Adachi is amazing in Ultimax too. Follows his own rules and helps Narukami new villain. Yeah, I know. I played Ultimax a hell of a lot. I didn't cover the story mode when I did the live stream of it a little while ago because it still had recording blocks, which is hilarious to me considering the game's like nearly a decade old. I'll say that it's like it was 2013 it came out in Japan, so it's 9 years. Yeah, and technically murdered Joker. It's like a lot of people like very quickly like, oh, he's like a little pancake boy. Oh, look at him, he's just like, you can hurt a fly, and it's like he's literally killed people. He has a fucking kill count. He killed 2 people before the events of the game. I think at least 2 people. He caused that train crash, which killed many more. Or that subway train crash. He killed Haru's father. What do you mean? He's just an innocent little pancake boy. He's an idiot. I mean, to be fair, I criticize it, but the whole pancake thing was pretty clever at the time. Finding out that like the biggest hint was like one little line out of nowhere where he responded directly to Mona, and you had to kind of go, hang on a minute, he shouldn't be able to hear it. It should just be meow for him. Or is this truth? Royal has his true self in the final chapter, and he's super sassy. Yeah, I liked his new, his evil design. I liked it a lot. I also thought it was kind of fitting that his evil design made him actually look like he belonged with the Phantom Thieves, whilst his mask, his Robin Hood hero design made him radically stand out from everyone else. There was something kind of weirdly symbolic about the fact that his true self was actually more in line with the Phantom Thieves. And if anything, it just makes my point stand out more as to why the fuck did he decide to turn against the Phantom Thieves when they were literally after the same thing. His true self literally resembles, in terms of color schemes, the rest of the thieves. It had the darker linings. And also, Lauki! Because, you know, that voice actor really went all in. Anyway. Oh, hi. Thank you. I'll keep trying a little longer. Alright, new talent site. You look like a trickster too, with the stripes and colours. Yeah! I genuinely prefer... Okay, what have you got? What's this? Learners go out the chance of inflicting a status element. Yes. I know I should get another fragment slot, but I'll come back to that. But yeah, I like both his designs, don't get me wrong, but I just preferred the darker one because I felt like it fit. Not only did it suit him better, because obviously, but it gave him more of his own identity. Like the super bright one, it was kind of like I kind of forgot about him a little bit. I was like, all right, he's here. Why so curious all of a sudden? I promised my friend that I'd make them something delicious, even though I've never cooked anything in my life. So you want me to show off a little? All right, I'll teach you everything you need to know. Thanks. Is anyone else that's got quests for me, or is it just Date Mageddon? Alright, Rain on a date, Kirara, Yuki, and, oh Jesus, everyone. Alright, we'll go with you first. Want to chat? I'd love to, let's go for a walk. Are we close enough that we hold hands now? Let's get out of this, tiny space. Oh yeah, we do hold hands, nice. If you get close enough to someone, you start holding their hands in the dates. What is this? Let's become beekeepers? Ah, that. I wonder who wrote that. You don't know either? I can't imagine how this could even come up. What kind of conversation would lead to this? Would beekeeping even be possible in this school? I don't know. If you put your mind to it, maybe? No, I don't think it would be. Did you just consider it for a minute? And there's something outside we can interact with. But this is one of my favourite little features. When you get to talent level 6 with people, you get that little heart-to-heart scene that we just got with Shio, and then they'll hold your hands in dates. I don't know why we swapped sides there, but oh well. And it's like, oh, this is why you can only walk, because they have to make it so it can suit these animations. It makes me wonder what happened if I max out their talent, if it would advance further, if we go arm in arm instead. Right, what do you want to talk about in here? My hair's getting a bit frizzy. Maybe I've been going to the pool too often lately. Do you put any product in your hair after bathing? No, I never have. Apply some hair oil before blow drying. It makes such a difference. Would you like to try it sometime? I don't mind if you use mine. Oh, really? Thanks. If it doesn't suit your hair, I'd recommend making your own using vegetable oil. You really know your stuff. Me? No, not at all. I don't know the first thing about cosmetics. No need to be humble. There's another one over here, and then I'll just warp to the destination. So I'm enjoying the cute walk I'm taking with Shio here. This is just adorable. This is genuinely such a cute little thing they added. That you can just hold hands. It's so simple, but it's all it needs to be, you know? It doesn't have to be anything fancy. So I'm curious to see if they go arm in arm when you max them out or something. Hey, Raina, enjoying the telescope? Which makes sense considering she used to do stargazing when she was younger. Oh, got stuck on the door a little. Now this is a room I've never been in. I have. You? Shio, really? Yeah, back when I caused that trouble in elementary school. Oh, right, yeah, well you punched the person who was bullying Coco. I forget how much of a soft heart and how sweet Shio is. I forgot that she got in trouble in elementary for punching a kid because they were bullying Coco. I forgot that she actually has a violent streak in her. Or at least used to when she was little. Obviously, it's toned down a lot now of how much of a sweetheart she's become, but you know, like, that's kind of like a contrast when you think about it. Oh, sorry to bring that up. Oh, it's fine. I didn't mean to make you feel bad. I almost consider it to be, well, an achievement. Probably isn't appropriate to describe it that way, though, since I did do something wrong. No, you should be proud. Yeah, this game is wholesome. It's wholesome as fuck, and I love it for it. Also, this game is like the epitome of like a palate cleanse. You just feel good playing it, and that's all it needs to do. People in the second floor classroom really don't mess around with the hallway, do they? Sometimes we decorate with gel stickers, but that's about it. Sounds cute. And that patch in the roof is still there. So I know I can just warp there, but I'm just enjoying the cozy walk. And I like how, like, even little things, you can tell that Owl's slightly leading as we walk. Like, she's the one that's deciding where we go, while Shio is kind of like tailing along a little more. You're right, Yuki. Why are you just standing here? Using the pool as a bath, that sounds super fun. They have a school library, but they've helped me a lot. Whereabouts are we needed? Oh, in the corner. Okay, you just want to look at books. Do you read much, Shio? Yeah, a bit. Like romance novels? What makes you think that? You mean you don't like them? Well, actually, I do. What book would you recommend, Al? If you're talking about novels, let's go with something Shio might like. Novels about pure love or romance. So what's she saying? Segs or love? Is that what she said? Is that what this is? Let's tease her a little bit then. This one's pretty good. Mind if I read a bit of it now? Are you crying? It's just, they love each other so much, but they can never be together. How awful. I'm going to complain to the author and have them rewrite it. She sounds like one of those crazy fans. She must have really been touched by the story, though. That's the kind of love I want, where you're just willing to go through heaven and hell just to be with the person you love in the end. Don't we all? Sounds like fun. Sounds fun, right? Fun? Is that not what you meant? I meant that I admire how that kind of journey would reaffirm and deepen your love for one another. But there might be hard times too, you know? Exactly. Don't you think that sounds fun, like a roller coaster? Yeah, you're tougher than you look. An intense interest. Oh, what's here? Damn sand. Oh, hello, Scruffbot. Let's go on a date since we barely know each other still. I need to stop calling her Scruffbot. It's just a nickname she's just been I've endeared her with. I go for a sec. Me too, actually. Just look at that bed head she constantly has. Being here is very calming. Is this where you would sit if you helped out at the library? It is. I would watch the patrons from here when I had nothing to do. Some would read, some would whisper amongst themselves, some would come and set up camp and stay there all day. There are even some who would come on occasion just to sleep. I think part of the reason why I give Kirara a nickname is because Kirara as a name seems to be difficult for my mouth to consistently pronounce. Especially because my dyslexicness keeps on wanting to say Kiara instead of Kirara. So I'm constantly fighting myself as well. Those are the ones who always snore. I didn't mind that they were sleeping, but I wish they'd be more considerate. I'll probably start calling her that too. Well, I mean, come on. It's either that or Bedhead. And I think Bedhead would be a little too mean. I think Scruffbot's more cute. Sorry. Oh, she just fucking pops to the other side. Okay. Is there any other chat spots you want to do first? Yes, you want to go. Oh, we want to. Let's go raid Rainer's room. This is the legendary. Oh, it's one of those CRT TVs. I've never seen one before coming here. Oh no, this is a fucking blast of the past. It's so fat. Right? I was surprised too. Oh, come on. They were great when I was a kid. And then you'd get screen burn, where you'd leave it on like one show for too long and you'd transition to a different cut channel and you could see the outline of the show that was previously on. Or like, you'd go try to play a game and you could see an outline of EastEnders behind it. Or like the news. Just because of the TV burn. It was a different time. Plasma burn was a real bad thing in the old TVs. It is a shame we don't get any channels here. We can watch videos on it though. We have a VCR. Oh, then let's find a video to watch. Anywhere else you want to go, Missy? No, okay. Oh, hang on, there is something in the hallway. Not that the game wanted to tell me. I guess it's in the food room and it doesn't really have a spot for it. So it never really knows. But yeah, there is something she wants to talk about over here. There's no sweet bean soup at this time of year. It's been a while. I could go for some. Do you want me to go over here? Look at this. Look at her. She's like, come on, come on, come on. This is the perfect place to rest. Totally, I love to sit here and read. My only complaint is that it's too narrow to lie down for a nap. Yeah, if you rolled over in your sleep, you'd fall right off. What if we lay a padded mat under it in case that happened? Well, then we might as well just lie on the mat. My legs kind of just carried me to the workroom, so I started feeling hungry, but Kirara, can you cook? Honestly, I have no idea. Oh, you don't know? Well, she was pretty sheltered because of her, not so nice parents, so I'm not surprised. I never cooked on my own before, so I can't say for sure. However, something tells me I'd be good at it. I've got a bad feeling about this. Is there anything you'd like to eat, Al? Beef stroganoff or fried chicken? I don't know what stroganoff is. We'll go with that then. Beef stroganoff. Beef stroganoff? Just kidding. I just wanted to see what your reaction would be. You mean the Russian salted beef dish, correct? I think I have an idea of what I need to do. Look at Al say, she's like, ah. No way, you actually going to try? Why don't you start with something easier, like a fried egg or something? You never know if you don't try. Do not worry, the divine is with me. Look at her serious face. Didn't you just say you can't hear them anymore? Do you not trust me, Al? Well... Fine. Of course I believe in you, she says, looking away from her. Your eyes say otherwise. No matter, showing you will be the simplest solution. I hope she knows what she's doing. What is this? Is this food? I don't know what happened. I had the dish perfectly visualized in my mind. I was so excited to hear you enjoy it. Sounds like she was really looking forward to me enjoying it. You worked so hard to make this for me, I should at least have a taste. If you're eating some, then I shall too. Alright, let's do this. We can do this together. 3, 2, 1. Uh-oh. Was it not nice? Kirara, never cook on your own again. Oh, agreed. Oh. Ouch. Oh, we're not actually making I thought we was making a construction thing. I thought we were just making a thing that would go in the pool. Oh, never mind. What do we need for it? Oh, we've got everything for it. Okay, let's do all the dates first, then we'll worry about that. It just means I don't have to do any grinding. Right, Kirara wants to go on another date. Best girl Yuki and both best girls need to go on dates. Coco will also hold our hand. We'll get Coco done. Where the fuck? Coco? What are you here for? I want to turn the pool into a bath. You've got quite the imagination. Let's go. We're going to the pool anyway. Let's see if there's not any flavor text elsewhere first. There is. Oh, because there's a quest blocking the thing. That's probably why we can't see it. But yeah, there is stuff here. Oh, no, not this time at least. That's probably what blocked it last time. Wow, it's so neat and tidy. You can really tell what kind of people use this room. Shio does love to clean. I think Reina likes to keep things neat too. Maybe we should do better. I like how the first floor classroom is. It's always so lively and fun. Each floor has its own personality. I think they're both good in their own way here. Yeah, all like the well-behaved kids are upstairs, and all like the troublemakers are downstairs. Yeah, you're right. It's nothing to do with how we don't want to clean up after ourselves. You don't care for cleaning either, do you, Kokoro? I won't deny it. Okay, there's nothing else, so we can just go here. Did your school have a swimming class, Kokoro? My high school did sort of. My middle school didn't have a pool. Huh? Then you maybe not a great swimmer? Oh no, I may have not had it in my school, but I used to play in the river with my friends when I was little. I'm jealous. I'm jealous, that sounds like something out of a manga. You think so? Most people don't really get to play out in nature like that. You must have had a great childhood. I think I actually prefer swimming in a pool. I think I'd agree to that, somewhere clean. It's so embarrassing to think about now. I don't think there's anything to be embarrassed about. Well, since there was no swimming class, no one had actual swimwear. Do you mean? We played in the river in our underwear. Oh. I wish. Ow! You were just kids. Or I wish I could have been there. You were just kids. We'll be nice. Well, you were just kids. There's no point being embarrassed about it now. Yeah, I suppose you're right. I'm glad I got to learn about a different side of you. Jeez, you won't tell anyone, will you? My lips are sealed. There are a lot of dialogue options that imply that, like, Al kind of crushes on some of the girls a little bit. Like, they kind of leave it open-ended with Al, whether she's, like, what side of the fence, so to speak, she's on. Like, I kind of appreciate that. It leaves it open to your imagination. Like, if you want her to see her as, like, someone who could be with the characters, you can. But if you don't, you don't, Well, now that we're here, it seems like a waste just to leave without doing anything. Let's do it like you did it back then. So, why not pretend like we're back in the river, near your house, and go for a quick skinny dip? No one's watching. Absolutely not. We're not kids anymore. We have to wear swimsuits to go in the pool. Yeah, you're right. She tried it though. From the country. Kirara probably has a lot of dates to go through, so we'll alternate like one person, then Kirara, then one person, then Kirara until they're all done. Oh, Scruffbot, let's go somewhere else. Oh, you want to go to the broadcasting room? Oh, there's. What's in here? So, have you read any of the textbooks in here? Never. Oh wait, there was one time I cracked open a history book. You did? What for? I was curious about the historical background of the novel I was reading. Oh, that makes sense. I understand academics as a means of facilitating your enjoyment of your interests. When you think about it that way, I might be able to take my studies a bit more seriously. Nowhere else? Okay, we're going up to the broadcasting room. Or Akko's room in the first game. Have you ever thought about how amazing it is that things like these work? Huh? What do you mean? If you turn a tap, water comes out. If you call a phone, it rings. If you connect to the internet, you can talk to anyone in the world. Oh, right. I'm curious as to what allows these things to be possible. Signals. It sure is a convenient age we live in. Who knows, but it sure is a convenient age we live in. Agreed. However, this convenience has become so commonplace. I feel it's caused us to overlook something important. Sometimes I think that we're just puppets dancing in the palm of something greater. A conspiracy theory? Our only option is to conduct a test. I want to come up with an excuse to use the broadcasting equipment. Right, first we push this button, then raise the lever, then bingo. Now just say something into the mic. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Kirara's Radio Hour. Aww. Wow, she's good. Today, we have a very special guest, Miss Ao Hoshizaki. Hi, everyone. Alright, first question. She's literally the, like, Arco. Like, Arco did this as well. Every now and then, one of the characters you met in the game would get dragged up to the broadcast room by Arco to do an interview. And, like, Arco would ask, like, a whole bunch of questions. Sometimes nice, sometimes embarrassing. To try and learn, like, get more out of the people around Hina's life. Wait, this is a quiz show? It is said that flamingos got their pink colour from pigments found in their food. One of these pigments is beta-carotene. What is the other pigment? What? I don't fucking know. Is it alpha-carotene? I doubt it's vitamin C. Is it? Oh, Jesus. Wait, I want to answer it correctly. Which is it? Is it alpha-carotene? Hang on, I can look it up. Why are flamingos pink? Oh, nationalzoo.com. No, I don't know what their nests are made out of. Many plants produce red, yellow, and orange pigments called carotenoids. Carotenoids give carrots their orange colour and turn ripe oranges. They also found in microscopic algae that brined shrimp eat. As a flamingo dines in algae and brine shrimp, its body metabolizes the pigments, turning the feathers pink. I'm going to say this then. You said beta, right? So how about alpha? Oh ho, I see. Would you like to phone a friend? Like any of my friends would know. The correct answer is... Caffeinixie. So I was wrong regardless, okay. What? That wasn't even one of my maybes. Unfortunately, a wrong answer means you're disqualified from the Super Kirara Quiz Corner. Too bad. The Super Kirara Quiz Corner. Unfortunately, that's all we got time for. Tune in next time for Kirara's Radio Hour. Don't call it hour if it lasts 2 minutes. See you next week. Keep safe. I hope I did it well. So about that announcement. What the heck was that? I had fun. I didn't really get what was happening, but I had fun. It appears I have the potential to become a radio DJ. But more importantly, I'm glad that you enjoyed it yourself. I can count on you for episode 2, right? You gotta do more? Of course, I'm hoping to make it big with this. I was half expecting one of the other girls to walk in like, what the fuck are you doing? Because they mentioned at the start of the game, at one point Yuki tried to play her own music for it and Reina got annoyed at her, so she doesn't do it anymore. Okay. Oh, which best girl do I want to hang out with? I'll hang out with Reina, because I love Al's can-do spirit. Yeah, I love how optimistic she is in everything. She's cheeky, but she's optimistic. Not to the exact same level as Yuki, but close. Did she just wave at me as I walked past? It looked like Reina went to wave at me as I went to walk past, and it stopped because I actually talked to her. Oh, you want to go to the broadcasting room as well? And unfortunately, I don't think we're close enough yet for you to hold my hand, so you just follow behind. I think we're close though, right? I think you're near level 6. Yeah, you're real near level 6. Shio additional recovery, because she actually heals. Alright, I should actually check what new fragments I've got. I haven't really been looking. From the country, costs 3. Increase combo count by 1 when a critical attack occurs. Imagine if you randomly hear a Kirara quiz show in the intercom as you walk around. That would be cool. I think that would be a little too much for this game in terms of how much detail it has, but it would be cool. Greatly increases attack, but greatly decreases defense. That sounds like another Kokoro fragment. Increase attack and defense when health's low. Your health gets low pretty often, so that's actually quite ideal. Now I need another fragment boost for Kokoro. Oh, there were still more fragments I didn't check out. Hang on. Non-stop radio. Decreases support cooldown during one-on-one. That could be quite nice. But the problem is, all the ones that are one-on-one specific, I don't use that much. Because you're banking on that character being the one that goes into the one-on-one. And like I said, it's dependent on who's the one who gets the last hit before it happens. And they only seem to happen on major bosses, so it's rare. So it's like, it feels like it's too much of a wasted slot to bother. Anyway, broadcasting room. What do you want to do, Reina? Oh, I just got a trophy. Time with everyone. Go on your 50th day. Oh my god. Oh my god. You're on 50 of these dates already. What do you think? It's like a jukebox. Again, with your crazy ideas. I think it's actually practical. You can set it up to only play in this room. Then you can listen to your favourite songs at full blast. A private listening room. Is there a song you'd want to listen to? I think if I said let's have a karaoke, she'd just give me the evil eye. Not really. Your face lit up for a moment. I like the idea of not being disturbed by anyone, that's all. Well, either way, it'll be useful for making announcements. I might as well get used to the controls. Any requests, Hoshizaki? Classical Gagaku. I don't know what that is. I'll just say classical. Classical music. Since when do you like classical music, Hoshizaki? I don't really. I just figured most schools would have a pretty decent selection of it. I see. I guess it's always a safe choice. Well, we'll need a CD. Oh, I'll go and get one. Maybe I should mix things up a bit, though. ASMR! Let's go with an ASMR recording. I hear footsteps. What's going on? It's one of those ASMR recordings, you know, where a cute girl whispers in your ear. Why didn't you tell me? Phew, that was close. It's fine, I was only playing in this room. It's not fine. Being forced to ASMR while locked in a room with you, that's torture. Ow! Why me in particular? You don't like how it sounds? That's not the point. Oh, she did like it. Okay, Reina, that's why. She's like, no, not with you. If I got Yuki, would you have been happier? Neither a time nor place. Fine. Chanting sound. So now we're going to get this with Reina because we're at rank 6, and after this, the next date we go on, she'll hold our hand. Are you free now? I need your help with something. Yeah, sure, what's up? I need your advice. Can you go up to the roof? So what do you need my advice on? It's about something you said before. Did I say something? You said, so this place is a mystery even to you, huh? Remember? Oh, I wasn't trying to insult your intelligence or anything. I know, you were right. I could study forever and not even scratch the surface of the mysteries of this world. I may have learned about the ash, but I never even came close to solving it. I couldn't cure Yuki. Has everything I've done up until now been meaningless? Of course not. Huh? I don't know how many times you saved me during our time here. You help us all focus on the problem at hand, and think harder than all of us put together. Without you, we'd be a complete lost cause. But you're the one who leads us, Hoshizaki. I couldn't do it by myself. There's a limit on what you can do alone, and there may be lots of things we feel are pointless. But if we all work together, maybe we can overcome this. We can solve all these mysteries one by one, together. At the very least. I'm so glad that you're here with us. We'll get through this together. If nothing else, I'll be by your side. You can trust me. Okay. Nice. Flexibility, HP up, HP up. Learn gross vague. Oh, we picked up another new one as well at some point. There it is. Recovers HP after each time around the order ring while supporting. Okay, so that'll be something to give to you. Oh god, where was it? Hang on, I've already lost it. Interest unknown, unknown self. Intense interest, exceptional ambition, fighter's relaxation, little breather. There it is. Decreases damage taken in one-on-one. Allows user skills to have a chance of inflicting paralysis. Needs to be a 1 since I've got so many slots already. Increase ether recovery speed at the start. That's quite nice. I'll just go with that. Save dragging around. Boom, 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 boom. Let's rest for the night 'cause it's already night time. And try again and see if I can actually nail down who's sleeping in what room. Because I think I've got a decent idea. There's 1, 2, 3 beds. So yeah, Hina, Reina, and Shio. Right? The sensible 3. They're all in the same room. No wonder it's so neat. Meanwhile, all the rest of the misfits are down here. It's still kind of crowded down here, though. Right, I know Yuki's right there, but I said I'd alternate because we know we've got to have a bunch of Kirara, so let's go pester Kirara. Hey, what are you up to? Staring into space, in other words, not much. Want to go explore the school then? I'm on my way over there. Sounds like fun. I'll wait here. Can I ask you a favour, Kirara? Depends on the favour. Just follow me. There's gonna be a point when more characters are added. Thank you. That means a lot. I'll do my best. Oh look at it! Oh, this game's so cute. There's gonna be a point just that there's gonna be so many characters. I'm gonna forget which voice is whose. I'm gonna try my best. But in the first game, there were a couple characters that got homogenized with the voices. My turn. Oh gods in Kirara, please grant my wish. What are you talking about? There's this capsule toy I want, but I can't win it no matter how hard I try. You don't want to know which machine to use or how many times I should try, do you? The Divine has never discussed capsule toys with me, unfortunately. And it's not like I can ask them now. Oh, right. No good, huh? Which one do you want, Al? Jesus, Divine Blade Jewelry. It's called Divine Blade Jewelry. Cool. Right, they're super detailed. No fantasy lover could ever say no to something like that. I think I understand what you mean. I think I'll give it one spin. I have a good feeling about today. I got this one already, because you can't win them all. Ah. What's up, Kirara? That capsule toy. I want that one. The stack 'em up totem block? Yeah, the one with the face that's all scrunched up. It's so cute. The one with the scrunched up face. Can you give it a try? No, I've done something like this before. Where it's something where it's go terribly wrong. Oh, don't worry so much. All you do is stick in some money and turn it. Give it a shot. I'll bet everything on this one attempt. Oh, I got it. What? On your first go? I can't believe this. Is this the power of the divine? No, I didn't feel anything. I just turned the handle and it appeared. Then I must be a capsule toy genius. I failed to get what I wanted countless times and bow before your great power, Capsule Queen. I suppose I could bless you with some of my luck. Maybe it will help you to get yours. Really? You'll share with me? Hold out your hand. Okay. Okay, that's a very cute sound. How do you feel? I think I need a little bit more. Oh, okay. I was hoping she'd do it again. I think that's it. Alright, here I go. Sorry, Al. It seems my capsule powers only work for me. Oh, never mind. Sense of better fortune. She's already level 4. Oh, hello. Ow, come with me. If the divine demands it. Just kidding, let's hang out. Which direction should we go this time? West, I think. Reminds me, you mentioned that you can't hear the divine in Oasis, right? Are you still not getting anything? Nothing. I tried reaching out to it, but heard nothing. Thank you. To be fair, what... And this isn't me trying to big myself up. What helped is before I started live streaming, I did Let's Plays for 5 years. So I got used to talking to a screen and putting on voices for characters and all the little whats. Because I wouldn't recommend it. I cringe every time I even remotely glance back at it. But like the super early days of my Let's Plays, I had zero confidence. It was very mumbly. And I was like just a 16-year-old idiot. And I was like, I'm not happy with a lot of them. Like, there's a lot of old Let's Plays that I always come and ah, maybe deleting one day just because I don't like them anymore. Like, there's some of them that even the older ones, I'm like, yeah, I put my heart and soul into that, I'm keeping that. But there are others where it's like, I struggled a lot with, like, college ruining me in a lot of ways, and it showed through in those Let's Plays. And, like, you could hear me, like, be really out of it, or not that interested, or not as invested. And so there's a lot of them like that, where it's like, I always kind of sit on the fence of maybe deleting them one day. Or like I've back like when I was starting to finish Let's Plays, the big one I wanted to redo was Sonic the Hedgehog 1, and I'll finally be able to do that when Origins comes out. Sonic the Hedgehog 1 is the Let's Play I genuinely don't like looking when I look back on it, because I swear a lot, and I know I swear a lot anyway, but I was angry because when I did that Let's Play, it was just when that initial trailer for Sonic came out, you know, that one that had the ugly design for the first Sonic film, and I was so angry that Sonic, this franchise I grew up with and loved, still couldn't catch a break. And I went, I'm going to Let's Play Sonic 1 with the idea being that it was going to let off some steam and it'd be chill. I watched back on like the first video and it's like, it's someone I never want to be again, because I was so grumbly and miserable and like frustrated throughout the whole video, and you could tell. And it's just like, at some point I want to do it, So like when Origins comes out, I might just delete those Let's Plays because I don't like them at all. They're not who I want to be. And they're someone I never want to be again. And I know it was Sonic of all things that brought it out of me, but I was genuinely so disheartened at the time that it felt like Sonic just couldn't catch a break in anything. That now he like the film has to look like the ugliest thing in the world. Thankfully it turned it around and the Sonic film ended up being great and got a sequel that was phenomenal. And then now I'm stupendously excited for the third one. But at that initial point, in that initial teaser when we saw that, and what it was going to be, and what it could have been, I was so, like, exhausted. Because it was like, Sonic Forces was the most recent Sonic game at the time. It wasn't even that old, and that was already a disappointment. We just barely survived everything that happened with Boom. You know, it felt like we were finally getting somewhere a little bit with Mania, and then that happened. I was just like, ugh. And so I never want to be that person again. So I think Origins, when we go through it, will hopefully be a happier run and be more honest to how I genuinely feel about those games. Because I didn't really do the game justice. Because I 100%ed it. I got all the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic 1 when I did the Let's Play. It was just the commentary for it was very grumbly. And it's just, I don't like being that kind of person. But I learned a lot from it. There's a lot of Let's Plays where I feel like I did learn something that I now apply to whether either my recording or my live streaming or just to my life in general. Like, I genuinely, like, there are some Let's Players and YouTubers that tend to be more cynical or very... I'm very outgoing in my commentary, I make a lot of jokes and stuff, I find it hard to find a balance. Yeah, that's a... When I was doing Let's Plays, I felt it was dependent on the game. When it's a turn-based JRPG, or just a game with a shit ton of mechanics, there is a level of professionalism you need to have with it, because you need to be able to explain it all to people watching who haven't played the game before. Like when I did Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, I barely caught a breath in like the first 2 or 3 videos, because there was so much I needed to explain. But at the same time, once that's all explained, it doesn't matter so much, you can just talk as you go. And the beauty, especially with it being live streams and whatnot, the more of an audience I start to get, like if more people come in and whatnot, the more I've got things to bounce off to actually talk about discussion points. Like I genuinely, maybe it will sound silly, but I genuinely love, because I watched, one of the live streamers I watch regularly is Maximilian Dude. Yeah, being something that was pretty rough sometimes, especially between 2013 and 19. Yeah, it was, yeah, it wasn't great. But like, I watch a lot of Maximilian Dude streams. My favourite parts of his streams aren't actually when he's playing the games. It's that first hour where he sits down and talks to the audience for a bit. And he talks to chat and he discusses things and maybe like reacts to something and whatnot. Because I find it like a nice back and forth, and I love that with the audience. I love being able to just sit down and talk. And if I ever did get a bigger audience, I could see myself doing that. Or something similar, where like for like the first half an hour or so, fire up the stream and just have my face cam on and just chat. Talk about things, talk about what's interesting, whatnot. But if that ever happened, I would probably have transitioned to PC streaming before that happened. So okay, I'd have money to actually be able to do it. Because right now, I stream everything off of my PS5, which unfortunately limits my game selection to whatever's on the PS5 or 4. Which is why I was crossing my fingers so much that this Sony backwards compatibility thing would be great. But the teaser of the initial list was so bare bones. I was like, oh, come on. There's so many games on the PS1 and 2 that deserve to be like on that list from the start, not a thought about later, and they're not there. And I'm like, come on. You know? Like Metal Gear Solid, the entire Metal Gear Solid series should be on there. None of them are. You know, like, even if they reunited trilogy, the original Spyros should be on there. The original Bandicoot should be on there. Medieval should be on there. Medieval 2, because even if that game had a game-breaking glitch about halfway through, it was still really good. Oh no, it wasn't a game-breaking, it wasn't a glitch, it was just a little piece of programming they didn't notice. Because you couldn't get health back from killing enemies twice in Medieval 2. So you couldn't grind up enemies to kill again. And so there was a room where it had a real difficult boss that had mandatory damage. If you were super low health there, and you had killed every single enemy along the way and ended up with low health, you were dead gamed. You were stuck. You physically could not proceed because nothing would drop health, even if you left the area and went to different spots. You were screwed. And that alone kind of like grumbled. doing Persona Royal right now. Yeah, I didn't sit down to watch any, get to watch it, but I checked out your channel since I thought you hopped in. It's only right, and you were like on part 2, I think. Like you was early on. I was like, go for it, dude. Go for it. If you can do it in your confidence. The PS3. Yeah, absolutely. Shadow of the Colossus should be on there. God Hand. Fuck, God Hand. Unleash God Hand to a modern audience, please. Oh, that was just a 4.5 that just broke into my brain. But yeah, I didn't like sit down and watch it properly. I caught like about 10 seconds because I had to get ready for work. But yeah, you've got your game on, dude. You've got your path set. You just got to keep on going at it. You'll find your own way. I think the biggest thing is don't stress too much about your commentary. Just keep talking, you know? Because that's the thing sometimes, and it happens even in the live streams, where I run out of things to say, and I just shut up, and then eventually I just go, oh wait, I'm still live streaming, I should be saying something, you know? That's the only thing I can do, is trying to find a rhythm, like a rhythmic beat to just keep on talking as you play, to kind of keep on going, okay, we're going to cover this and this and that, or we're going to do this and that, or maybe there's something topical in the real world you want to talk about, like, you know, with it being June, E3 season, even if E3's not on this year, you know, the Sonic Direct today, the Capcom are doing their own thing in a week just after Summer Games Fest. Summer Games Fest, and you know, that's on Thursday. You know, the Xbox thing, now, like, you can talk about how Xbox have dropped Bethesda from the game conference, and now it's just the Xbox Extended instead of the Xbox and Bethesda, because, you know, all of Bethesda's games got delayed. But yeah, oh damn, I'd love every PS1 and 2 game. Obviously, I'd love the entire library, because I grew up with the PS2, but, like, Simpsons Hit and Run? Come on, you can sort something out with EA to get that on there. You know, the only good EA game they've ever published. Get that on there. Get the old Tony Hawk games on there. Even if, like, I'm not into them as much as I used to, get them on. Get all the Sonics. I already talked about it earlier. Get all the Sonics on there. What else? So I'm turning my head and looking up so I can see it. Oh, get some of the older Lego games. Like Lego Indy and Lego Batman 1 on. And I'm looking up at my collection. Cell Damage, no, that got remastered, but that was really good. The old Hitmans, that'd be kind of nice, because the remaster on PS3 was way too much. The old Splinter Cells. Oh, yeah, the original Pandora Tomorrow Chaos Fury and the PS2 version of Double Agent were great. What else have I got up there? The classic PS2 Silent Hills, that would be great. You know, because you'd actually be better than the remasters, because the remasters were botched as hell. Sport with it. I really love the game. I want to show it to everyone. I'll be more serious during the Shido parts and up to the Ryuji's Awakening right now. Yeah, fair enough. The biggest thing I can say is just keep doing it. You're already on the right path, that you're playing a game you like. Because that was one of the things, that was another Let's Play I wasn't too keen on. I made the most of it, but when I wanted to highlight just how much of a contrast there was between Devil May Cry 2 and 3, I decided that I would Let's Play the entirety of 2, both stories. And I didn't enjoy it, because I don't enjoy the game, and I was forcing myself to Let's Play it. And I felt like, even though I made the most of it, and like tried to make my own quips and like humor, and like play in like unique ways, and fuck around with mechanics and whatnot, it was still present that I didn't enjoy it that much. The only redeeming thing about that Let's Play is, that Let's Play, I was talking about, throughout that Let's Play, I was talking about how much I desperately wanted a Devil May Cry 5, and that Let's Play finished 1 week exactly before it was announced at the Microsoft panel at E3. And it's like, I always found that hilarious, the timing, that I talked about Devil May Cry 5 and how much I wish that franchise came back and how much I really wanted DMC 5 to happen one day, and then a week later it got announced. I was like, what the... And so that's the biggest thing. Just always play games you enjoy. Don't play them because you feel like you need to. Like, if you, like, say, for example, you're playing Mega Man, and you love the Mega Man series, but you hate, I don't know, 6. Don't play 6 then. Don't force yourself to play 6. Play through 1 through 5 and then jump to 7, you know? Because if you play a game you don't enjoy, it will, no matter how much effort you put into your commentary, it will show. At least for me, in my experience, it shows. Well, if you're playing something you genuinely have time for and genuinely have, like, a lot of heart for it, it will also show. You know? People will be able to feel the optimism and the love you have. I have one gimmick where I put Persona dancing clips when I'm silent and jamming to the music. That's kind of cool. That's a lot of extra effort, but that's kind of cool. Obviously, you can't do that every time. Like, if it's a serious moment, you're not going to play over it. But that's a good idea. It's better than what I usually do. What I used to do in Let's Plays, if I genuinely had nothing to say, and this was different because some Let's Plays I did live commentary, some I did post. If it was an RPG, I did it in post commentary because it was easier to collect my notes and just focus on the game when I was playing, and then I could just run the footage and talk. Sorry, I haven't eaten something in a few hours. I don't know why I'm so burpy all of a sudden. Sorry. And it was just easier to talk over it. Like any JRPG I've covered on the channel in Let's Plays were all in post. So I could just focus on the game when I was playing it, make sure I did everything to a point, get all the recording I need, make all the edits and all the cuts and all the corners that need to be removed and everything, skip all the encounters, because if it's an enemy that I fought before, I skip the encounter. That's what I did in my Let's Plays. I always just edited it out entirely. You'd see the flash and then it'd carry on, because you've already seen the enemy, so it'd get repetitive. And then I would just let the footage run and talk over it. And so it was easier. If there was a point where I knew I had nothing to say, I could just pause my voice recording and make that section until the next bit I want to talk slightly louder, so the music of the game can speak for itself. Especially if it was a game where I already liked the soundtrack, I'd do it a lot. Whilst with live games, obviously you can't rely on that so much when it's all live. So I'd have to mess around with it a lot more in post after the recording to make things work out if I needed to. But eventually it reached one of those things where it was this January I streamed Danganronpa because I was just recovering from COVID, unfortunately, so I got that on New Year's. And I thought, because I was still Let's Playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, I thought give the remake a break, live stream something more casually and go from there. Just so there was still content on the channel. And lo and behold, I realised something that I've kind of known for a while but just didn't commit to until after Danganronpa, that I kind of enjoyed streaming more than doing Let's Plays, because it's less effort and they're longer videos, and I get to bounce off an audience. Whilst with Let's Plays you have to worry about editing, you have to worry about making sure everything sounds right, everything works together, you have to do the test run. It becomes a lot of extra work to make sure everything's perfect, just for you to upload it in an era where Let's Plays are nowhere near as popular as they used to be, and so it would get like 2 views. Whilst live streams, it's a lot easier to jump in, have an audience, bounce off them, talk about things, yada yada. But there's still merit in Let's Plays, and I still have a lot of respect and time for people that do them. Like, there's a reason why Game Grumps still do so well, because they've committed to that formula for so long and done so much with it. There's still talent to be had, there's still a lot of charm to be there. It's just when you're an up-and-coming channel, unfortunately, sometimes if you really want to make a move, you have to be more logical. Giving encounters to unless something big happens or the enemy's new. Same with some stuff like the social point level up stuff, then cut. Yeah, fair enough. So yours is more like almost highlighting, if that makes sense. Because like I know there was a Let's Player I watched years ago, and when he covered Persona 4, because all the dungeons in Persona 4 follow the same pattern of like randomly generated, he'd show off the first 2 floors and the last floor, and just show off the mini boss in the middle. So, like, you wouldn't see every single floor of the dungeon because he knew it was pointless. So you do floor 1, floor 2, the mini bosses, however many there were, and then the final floor to show how much it changes, and then that was it. So it kept a move on. Especially in the longer dungeons like Naoto's one. But yeah, that sounds like you've got a good rhythm with it. Like in SMT3 Nocturne, there were 2 random encounters I went out of my way to show, and that's because both of them gave me a game over. Because they were the only 2 game overs I got. I saw your video Platinum Dangan free. I hope that doesn't discourage you from the series. Danganronpa 1 is an extremely charming, intricate, and clever game. But it's held back by the fact it was the first attempt, so it's a little rough around the edges and a little gimmicky in places. But it's still really fun. Danganronpa 2 is the peak of the franchise in my opinion. I love that game to death. And it's going on the list of one of my favourite games I've played this year that didn't come from this year. So I always do 2 lists. I do one list that's my game of the year, and my list that is my favourite games that I played this year but didn't come out this year. And Dangan 2 is right up there. I love Dangan 2. 16 main characters and 14 of them are a banger. That's not a small feat. You know? to have that many main characters and that many of them be good. Like, they had a near perfect home run with the girls in that game. If it wasn't for one character, every single girl would have been phenomenal, and they would have had like the best lineup of female characters in the franchise. And the males were great as well. Fucking Gundam Tanaka is a legend. Gundam is like the peak character design and peak character writing. He's so good. The only things that hold them back is when you are going to platinum them, they turn into grinds because they have a social link system called free time events, or the report card system, as the later games would change its name to. And the report card system is if you hang out with people, you get extra abilities and get to know them better, and can ultimately not romance them, but like romance bait, where it's like they wink wink, maybe they have feelings for each other, but then it ends. But you get abilities and skills for it. There's always a trophy for maxing that out, and they make a like platinum adventure, like free play mode, premium adventure, like you're in a Yakuza game once you beat the game, when you can just freely explore the environment and hang out and do all those social events. But in the first two games, they also tie a mini game to that, and that mini game requires you to do it in its entirety, which takes 51 in-game days for the record, 3 or 4 times to get everything out of, and you need to do it for completion. How's Ultra Despair Girls? Oh, okay. I did a little review on it, but to call it in brief, Ultra Despair Girls is an extremely charming, unique, different take on Danganronpa, but some of the subject matter it covers, it makes it hard to approach. Ultra Despair Girls has a central theme of child abuse, and every single chapter covers it in a different angle. The first chapter being physical, the second being mental, the third being sexual, the fourth being abandonment, the fifth being betrayal. And it's like, I had a point in my review where I went on, like, not on a rant, but an explanation of, like, chapter 3 genuinely made me extremely uncomfortable because of how it talks about sexual child abuse and how it handles it and what it does. And it's like, because the main villain of Ultra Despair Girls, Monica, exploits another one of the girls' trauma by deliberately triggering her to make sure that she remains under her control by saying the word that her abuser, for lack of a better word, always repeated when he was, shall we say, abusing her. So I won't go into detail because I don't want to unsettle anyone that might be watching or like trigger anyone, because that's not fair. I wouldn't want to do that in a game that's supposed to be nice. But that chapter, like, you see Monica literally just call her like a very specific word. I think she calls her something like gentle, and Kokoro, the girl in question, freaks the fuck out, completely turns into a sprawling mess in the floor, and Monica just goes over to her, grins, and goes, "Oh right, that's right, you're not gentle, you don't like that word," slaps her, and then picks her up and cuddles her and says, "It's fine, I'm the only one that understands." And I was so fucking creeped out. I was like, Monica is evil. Monica is the most, like, viciously evil villain I've seen in a while, because that is horrendous. But because of that, it sets Kokoro off. Not Kokoro, I think she has a different name. It starts with a K, but I can't remember it. And it sets her off, and she gets to your main character, Kamaru, captures her, and straps her to a pleasure machine because she wants you to feel what she went through, and they make it a game mechanic that you have to fight off the machine before a bar fills up, and Kamaru completely submits to the machine, and you get a game over, and the screen goes white to make the implication it needs to. And like the whole of chapter 3, oh, Monica's I met her evil. And like the whole of chapter 3, I reached the end of it, and I had to stop playing for a week because it creeped me the fuck out. And like, it did what it was trying to do. It wanted to unsettle you. It wanted to make you uncomfortable. But that chapter alone is like the biggest deal breaker. So if you're prepared for it, go for it. It's my second favourite Danganronpa. It's a really fun spin-off that's different. It's not as long. Its completion took me like 2 hours after I beat the game to get the platinum, so it was really nice and easy to do. It's just all collectibles and hit the level cap. It was really starting to do. It's a really sweet game, but chapter fucking 3 is a thing, and it has to be acknowledged because it will be extremely unsettling for people and very triggering for others because of how it talks about its subject matter. Like, I don't think it talks about its subject matter as delicately as it probably should have to be safe for people, if that makes sense. And then there's V3. V3, it was the only one that had that was its first run was a console release. Every single other started as a PSP or PS Vita title. And so because of that, I guess they felt like it needed to be bigger to justify the price tag. And so it's the longest Danganronpa by far. It took me nearly 90 hours to beat the main adventure. And it has the most goddamn tedious post-game of any game in the series. And it's the only one I would straight up, like, discourage you 100%ing. Because it takes so long and it drained the hell out of me. Because it has the whole maxing characters out thing. Like, the maxing out their social links. Then they have another system called, like, the love plan or something like that. Where it's an entirely separate social link system that you can only start once you've maxed out their main one in the main game. That you then have to do in this special mode, and you can only interact with them so many times, and it's inconsistent what encourages their social links to go up, so it becomes a grind to do it, and you only get the rewards for doing it at the end of every 10 days, so if you max out someone on day 1, well that's 9 days of you doing nothing, of you just spamming go to bed until you can get it. The casino minigames were really fun in concept, up until they made a trophy where you had to get an S rank on the hardest difficulty of all of them, and then it turns into torture. Because they're so luck-based, and it's like, why make casino games require you getting the max rank on the hardest setting? Why? And then there's the development plan! And it's like, the development plan in concept is great, but the first hour sucks, and the grind at the end sucks. But the middle of it's fantastic. The idea is you pick any character across the entire franchise, you put them into a Monopoly board, roll the dice, and wherever they land, they get stat boosts or special events or cutscenes with other characters across the franchise. At the end of 3 full cycles, your stats are determined, and you can then take that character into a traditional 8-bit dungeon. And you literally dungeon crawl 100 floors, fighting enemies, beating bosses, and working your way up. So you build your dream team across the entire franchise. The initial 2 hours where you're building a team is boring as hell. And when you're grinding out every character, because there's a trophy for maxing and for doing a complete run with every single character, and there's 53 of them. I'm not kidding, because it's symbolic of the game's title, because it's called V3, as in 5-3, as in V as in the Roman numeral 5. It's symbolic of that titling. And so they make it 53 runs. So 53 runs of Monopoly, I don't have to explain to you why that's boring as hell. Why that's like the most soul-sucking thing ever, and it's why I did that little video on it, because I was like, I was so done by the end of it. I was like, I just held down the skip button, which was circle, and took the lowest rolls and just let whatever happen, and just didn't care. I was like, just get me through this, please. I'll mute the game, play my own music, and just do it. And I did like 9 or 10 a day until I got through them all eventually. But the Despair Dungeon bit's great. It's like, completion is filled with ups and downs in V3, but there's no changing the fact you're doing 53 games of Monopoly, at least. Probably more, because some of those characters you might like and want to get a better run of them, so run them through the board again, hoping to get better stats for them. You know? Because you don't level up in the Despair Dungeon, you only get your levels and stats by doing Monopoly. And it just became so bloated. Like, my total completion time, I think it said 129 hours. And, like, yeah, it was. That was, like, the only downside. But V3 as a whole is still a good game. I enjoyed V3. I think even the main story is the weakest of the 3. But that's just because they made it a lot more serious and a lot more grounded compared to the first 2, which, although they were serious, knew when to kind of remind themselves they're still kind of anime-esque. Like, they knew when to have a bit of fun. Whilst the third game is a lot more serious and a lot more, like grounded. I've not been much gone with my mates for like 8 hours, and it sounds like a massive grind. Yeah, it is. It doesn't take 8 hours. When you're doing it properly, it takes like an hour and a half per character. If you're just holding circle and skipping it, I eventually got it down to something like 25 minutes per character. By just holding circle and skipping everything, and doing always like... because it gives you 2 dices. It gives you a dice that always has 1, 2, and 3, and a dice that always has 4, 5, and 6. So it's not entirely random. You have a little bit more control. I'd always just roll the 1, 2, 3. Because if 12 turns pass, as in a whole year, because it takes a month a turn, pass without you doing a full cycle, you don't fight an enemy. It instead skips straight to the next year, and it says you failed that year. So it would be quicker. It would be quicker to not do the fights. And so I'd just do low rolls for 3 years straight, fail all 3, get the character done, and move on. So you had a max of 36 turns, but you know, 36 turns is still a lot. It's still quite draining. Anyway, But I would recommend the series. They are fun. They're great puzzle solving, like Puzzle Box. If you like Phoenix Wright especially, you'll love it. Because it's Phoenix Wright but at a faster pace. Well, they don't sit around and talk as much. At least not until V3. V3 they do slow down quite a bit. But I would, if you're up for something different, give it a go. I would say though, start with the original. Don't jump to V3 because the story of Danganronpa is interconnected, and I think the first game is extremely charming at what it does as a standalone compared to what 2 and 3 do as a continuation. Because 2 has to think about how the first game ended and the questions it left unanswered and answer them, whilst V3 has to do the same for 1 and 2. Even if they do it in a weird way, which I won't spoil because it's like V3 is extremely controversial because of how it handles its ending, and even I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I liked what they were going for at least. And that's all I'll say because that's part of the fun, is figuring out yourself. I don't want to spoil any of it. The reason why I love those trilogy is that I live streamed them entirely blind. I had no idea what was going on or what was happening, and so it was more fun because of it. I thought that many times. But the fact remains that I cannot change how I am. Good characters and story, and I love variation. And I like variation like I would Blue Reflection. Yeah, I'm enjoying Blue Reflection as well because of its variation. Dangan as a whole has great characters. I think V3 I was very critical on because of the 16 main characters in that game, I was only keen on like 4 of them. And only like 2 of those 2 I liked actually survive. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks guys. But Danganronpa 2, it was such a goddamn, like, home run. So there's 16 main characters, because it's always 16. And 14 of them were amazing. There was only 1 boy I didn't like, and 1 girl I didn't like. And that was it. Everyone else was really well written, had a lot going for them, had a lot of quirks and charms, and were just really fun to be around. Even the characters that I kind of grumbled at first, because there were 2 characters I really didn't like at the first chapter, but I came around to by the end because of how much they changed and how much they grew. Like, there's one character, I won't spoil his story, but Fuyahiko is his name, and he's in the second game. In chapter 1, he's a complete dick. He's completely evasive. He's a complete arsehole. He threatens you if you get anywhere near him. He's such an arsehole. He's like, please go away and never come back. You're so annoying. By the end of the game, I wanted to pat his head. I was like, you know, you're a real charmer when you want to be. But by the end of the game, he genuinely transforms so damn much. It makes him so lovable. He goes through so much and learns so much and becomes a so much better person because of his experiences. I still don't forgive them for what they did to Mikan, but I'll stop there because I don't want to spoil anything. The most important thing is how this power of mine is used. But your dad used it for his own selfish means. Yes, however, my power also saved my friend and my home from danger. I guess it's all in your intentions. Either way, does it feel like a weight off your shoulders now that you can't use it? It's becoming unable to taste a delicious meal or hear a beautiful melody. What? Humans have 5 senses, but I have 6. Those 6 senses make me who I am. I am now incomplete. I feel like a completely different person. I was just a little curious, but it seems like Kirara's power is really important to her. I feel bad for not taking it very seriously. I just thought it must be convenient. You have nothing to apologize for. Must be scary to lose something you've taken for granted. I mean, that's why she keeps making her own predictions. She's trying to keep a part of herself that she feels like she's lost. But she'll always be Kirara to me, no matter what. A new crafting idea pops into your head after. You can now make it a tapioca drink. And she have a request to make it. Ooh, what is it? Awesome you asked for something, Kirara. I would like you to make something round with an empty hole. Like a donut? No, something related to water. Oh, you mean like a floaty? You mean a well? Interesting. A well would meet those conditions. Interesting. Oh, I thought she meant like for the swimming pool. I thought she was about to say she can't. Come on, scheduled for Dangan soon, so for derailing. No, don't worry about it. I always love these conversations. I'd always rather stop and talk about something interesting than ignore something interesting to force myself through the game, you know? Not that I'm forcing myself because I'm enjoying this game, but you know what I mean. It's always okay. Anyway, last night I had a revelation. This world needs something round with an empty hole. Is the world really something to have a revelation about? If we did have a well, we wouldn't have to worry about water anymore. Maybe I'll make one. But yeah, all 4 Dangan games I think are worth going. A lot of people skip the spin-off, which I think is a shame. Despite my grievances with Chapter 3, I still think it's a very charming, interesting game. And deserves a lot of attention. Reinforced lumber? Oh, we haven't even learned that. So not yet then. Yuki! Where are you? Shio watering the plants. What? Yuki, how much closer do you need to get? Look at her! She still missed! Yuki, talk to me. Let's go to the broadcasting room today. Sure, what are we going to do there? You planning another prank? We'll just have to wait and see until we get there. And I said I love those Dangan games. So what would be canon? UDG is based between 1 and 2, but it came out after 2 and references 2. So I would say that's the order: 1, 2, UDG, then V3. Because the way it references 2 would take away some of the magic of 2, because they spoil that one of the characters is not who they seem. And if you play UDG, then go into 2, you already know that one of the characters there can't be trusted. When the whole point of it is that you're supposed to trust them, you know? Well, so yeah, 1, 2, Ultra Despair Girls, then V3. Well, technically, if you want to get specific, it goes 0, the book, the original, this is canonical order, UDG, 2, Danganronpa 3, which is an anime, then V3. Which is why there's the other reason why it's called V3, because 3 was already taken because the anime is called Danganronpa 3. Which I still haven't watched, I need to. But in terms of game order, yeah, just go 1, 2, UDG, and V3. I think that's the best way to go about it. What a great idea it was to leave a mattress here for us to all lie on during the day. Right? Reina tried to put it away, but I wouldn't let her. Playing outside is fun, sure, but I think it's important to spend time just chilling together too. For sure. Thanks for protecting our sacred ground. Though this means that our constant struggle against temptation will continue. Yeah, just looking at it makes me want to lie down around all day. Is there any other little spots you want to go to? Doesn't seem that way. Okay, let's go to the destination. This place has such a weird vibe. I feel all tense just being in here. Really? I mean, normal people usually can't enter the broadcasting room. Doesn't that make you feel nervous? No, it makes me feel excited. All the gear here is so cool. So yeah, the canon order, just to actually wrap up the question properly, canon order is 1 UDG, 2 V3, but I'd recommend 1, 2 UDG, V3. Just because UDG would spoil things for 2, and I think I'm biased because I love 2 so much, it's my favourite of the lot, but I wouldn't want that to be taken from you. Because then you know that it's only small things, but you learn little things that are and aren't how they seem. Of course it does. It's a real shame we got all this nice equipment that isn't getting used. That's true. Right, things should be used, not just left to gather dust. So what are you planning? That we use it ourselves, of course. We can make our own radio show. Oh, sorry, Kirara already beat you to that. We could do what now? You heard me. Welcome to Blah Blah FM, the #1 hit music station. That kind of thing. I know what a radio show is. I was just wondering why you wanted to make one. Doesn't this sound fun? I always wanted to have my own show. Can't say I'm not a little interested. Well, I can't say I'm not a little interested. I encourage her too much. Alright, let's do this. So what should I say? You could talk about something that made you happy recently. Something that made me happy? Yeah, like... I cracked open an egg this morning and there were 2 yolks inside. That was something that made you happy recently? Yep, if you ask me, life is all about the small happy moments like that. I see. So come on, your turn, Al. Okay, let's see. I'm happy I became friends with all of you. Well, Al, are you feeling okay? Did you just eat something weird? Cut it out, I'm trying to be honest here. I'm just kidding. I like hearing about things that make people happy. It makes me feel part of that happiness too. Jeez, I can see why Reina fell for you so hard. Yeah, you're right. Why don't we get the others to share their stories too? Oh, like a real radio show hosts do? Exactly, the Yuki and Ao show, coming to you live from Oasis. Sounds cool, eh? Sharing joy. Oh, you want to hang out again, Yuki? Well, we'll alternate between you and Kirara. Where the fuck's Kirara? Why does it just drop me? Oh, she's way at the end, I think. What are you doing back out here? Hey, Scruffbot. The bath that. Yeti up. Let's go on another date. Oh my, you got a lot of things you want to talk about now all of a sudden. The place with the stone lanterns. It has a nice atmosphere. Does seem like your kind of place, Kirara. Let's head there then. The fact that there's a trophy for this game for getting 100 dates, like, I get it. I get it. Like, as this game's gone on, it's like I've come around to understanding more thoroughly why. Like, there is a lot here. And we haven't even met some of these characters yet. There's still a number of characters we've yet to, like, encounter. But I'm also glad they're slow enough to, like, let it be, like, one. Like, we spent a lot of time here with Kirara, getting to know her and getting a feel for her sort of thing. They haven't just immediately gone, okay, time for the next character, kind of thing. They've given it time to breathe. And they've done it for every character so far, and I love that. I wonder what this ladder is for. For eavesdropping on secret meetings, or making a dramatic entrance. I knew it. Either that, or for accessing the antennas and other equipment up there. Ah, I see. But since we can't watch TV here, I think we should make it use of it a la my original suggestion. Yay! Though we'll probably never get the chance. So there was something else down here, I'm sure there was, yeah. There's a number of little scenes. Just in front of the cafeteria, or the workroom, and the actual snack den. Was this place the school store? Looks like it, according to the posters. The school store was the savior of students in dire need. Is it fun streaming versus recording and uploading? I'm going to be honest, the reason why I do streaming all the time now is because I prefer it. It's easier to set up, it's easier to get going, I just talk as I go, and I have an audience to bounce off. It was easier and more fun. Like, there's a part of me that misses Let's Plays, don't get me wrong, but it was one of those things where I had to pick what one I was actually enjoying more, and I had to be real with myself, and streaming just made more sense to me. Obviously, that's entirely personal. For some people, the idea of having a live studio audience, essentially, would be intimidating and make it more anxious, and I get it. And in that instance, Let's Plays make more sense, because it's more controlled, you do it in your own pace, you figure it all out, yada yada. But for me, as someone who's already had, 5 years of breaking that out of me, of, sharing my voice to the world, having people respond to it, live streaming was it felt like a comfort to go to. And I know that's different from person to person. It's just for me personally, I prefer streaming to recording. I still want to do. I still do the odd videos here and there, like I said, like that Dangan video or whatnot. Like I'll still do the odd ones. It's just I probably won't do Let's Plays at all anymore. I can't see myself going back to Let's Plays now. Now I'm doing streaming. Just every now and then do like a random extra video, depending on what's going on and what I'm playing and what I'm doing. But realizing that it was closed right when you needed it was a traumatizing experience. One must always be wary of the school store and countryside convenience store's hours. That just put us right here. I don't remember this display. This is my personal collection. Trees with human faces? Oh wow, they really do look like faces. I used to collect totems back in our world. I had hoped to find some on the school grounds here, but unfortunately I have not. To fill this void in my heart, I began collecting pictures of the faces I would find in trees. They are kind of cute. You're beginning to understand their charm. Maybe I should start my own collection. These stone lanterns kind of remind me of a spooky story I know. And as punishment for breaking the lantern, he lost his right arm forever. Divine retribution, was it? They say that souls rest in old things, after all. Gotta make sure we take care of these stone lanterns. Yes, that reminds me of something as well. Oh-ho! Do you have a scary story about stone lanterns too, Kirara? Not quite. May I still tell you about it? Of course! Yeah, don't be rude. The other option is just, no, I want to hear another story. I'm always interested in what you have to say, Kirara. That is a lot of pressure. I've changed my mind. Wait, no, don't! Very well. If you're so desperate to hear, let me regale you. Look at that little cheeky smile. Like she's got some charm to her as well when she wants. Oh, thank you, old grade one. So, what's the story about? Let's see here. When I was a little girl, I loved watching the lanterns grow in the night. You had some near your house? Something like that. They would always be lit during special events like festivals. The flickering glow of the candles were beautiful. I was going to try it, but my family might come in, and not having anyone in chat would make me self-conscious. But playing and talking to chat sounds extremely rewarding too. Yeah, there's been some streams where I've had absolutely no audience whatsoever, and I've just had to find things to keep talking about. And I usually kind of just narrow into the game when I'm doing that. So it's like, well, people might, because I always think, well, people might watch it in post, so I can't just not say anything, you know? So I just try and narrow in on talking about the game instead, even if I stumble over myself a bit. And yeah, my family thankfully are very understanding. Like, I just close my door and they just leave me to it. Thankfully, but I know that's not the same with everyone. Like, and if people just come in, like, you need to be able to quickly mute your mic and explain or move things around. And it's like, most streams, I'm not doing it of this series for, like, because I can't really, because there's no room. But I usually have a face cameras on as well, so I can directly look at my audience by looking at my camera and talk to you. The only reason I don't in this game is because there's something in every corner. And so for the sake of not having to fight where things are, I just got rid of it in the end. I was like, you know what, this playthrough can be without a face cam. I'll worry about it. I'll worry about it when it's a let's play, or, sorry, on a game that doesn't have something in literally every corner of it. But it is, being able to bounce off chat, especially if like several people come in and we can have a conversation with more ultimate people coming in. Like, when I did the Guilty Gear watch along with the story mode, because it launched in the UK on the PS5 exclusive several hours before everywhere else for some reason, because I think it was just like a glitch in the system, a lot of people wanted to see the story and so looked it up and found my live stream. And there was a point where it's like we had like over 200 people in chat. And that was like one of the most fun streams I've ever done, because I was constantly bouncing off people, talking to people, talking about different things, talking about what people liked, what people didn't like having a laugh about the same jokes together. Like, it was great. And it actually resulted in a big boost in my subscriber growth. I was on like 320 before that stream, and now I'm on like 400 and something. I need to hit 1,000 before I can start profiting of anything, so I've still got a ways to go. If I hit 1,000, I've said it before, if I hit 1,000, I would make a more like structured schedule with my streaming. I'd make it every day but like Wednesday and Saturday, probably. Because that's kind of what I do already. Wednesday and Saturday are the days I tend to avoid. Which also, yeah, that means I won't be streaming tomorrow. Just a heads up, but... I never really got the chance to see many stone lanterns growing up, but now that I've seen them up close, but because I'd be getting, you know, money out of it, and it's something that I'd want to pursue as potential as a career option if I got there. Like, I'm not going to say like, oh, I'm absolutely going to get there, I'm going to become the next Markiplier or any of that shit, because that's unrealistic. But if there's a point where I can get money out of it and it can be vaguely consistent, I'm going all in, because it means I get to do what I love and make a living off it. It's the same reason, even though I don't promote it, because I never want to make people feel like they have to, or feel like that they must, or that I'm putting it on you or anything like that. It's only if you've got the spare and you're completely willing to do it. I have a Patreon, and I have it in the description of all my videos. But I never bring it up and never talk about it because I said I don't want everyone to feel like, oh, I really want to support this guy, but I've only got like $5 in my name. No, keep your $5. I don't want you to bankrupt yourself for me. You know, I'd feel bad then. It's just if you want to like almost give me like the tip jar sort of thing, fill your boots, I'll be more than grateful, but that's it. That's it, you know. The people that are like, give me money, I'm like, no. I never want to be that kind of person or come across as that kind of person. If you want to support me for anything in like an actual financial means, it's entirely because you want to, not because I've insisted or asked. They have a really cool design. They have a really cool design, don't they? They're like quintessentially Japanese. Quite, not only that, if you look closely, you can see the intricate designs on the upper support and the in between the gaps. What? The way the roof curves out gives it quite a sophisticated feeling. The firebox also has a certain appeal to it. Just a sec, Kirara. I didn't expect a full breakdown of an artist's artistic worth. You didn't? Of course not, but I didn't realize you were so clued in on lanterns, Kirara. It's simple common knowledge, isn't it? No way! I mean, I think I heard of a firebox before. It's the place where the candle goes, right? Indeed, and the window allows you to access it. Oh, window reminded me of another scary story. Ooh, I'm all ears. When I was but a girl, I put my arm inside the window of a lantern and it got stuck. Oops, I can imagine most kids would try that at least once. Most of my stuff is from a viral tutorial I made, so they don't watch my stuff, but I'm happy I just have anyone to make anyone's day, even my low views. Still feels super rewarding. Yeah, man, we're on the same page. It makes me super happy when anyone hops into my streams, or anyone watches my videos. Like, there was a niche-ish game called Death End Request, which I liked it a lot, but I had a lot of trouble with, and I wanted to let's play it to show what I liked about it, and what I didn't. The first video was like one of the first videos I'd ever done to like hit like nearly 1,000 views. Actually, I'll tell a lie, I don't think it was that much. I think it was like 200 if I'm being honest. But it felt like so much more to me in that sense. Like in my mindset, I was like, what the hell, did people like this? And it was like the most successful Let's Play video I ever did. And it felt so rewarding, and it pioneered me to do the entirety of the game. And I got the sequel without hesitation, and it worked out because I loved the sequel. Death End Request 2 is a phenomenal little game. It's not the longest JRPG in the world, but it's great. And I loved it. Or like I've done, like if you just go onto my channel, because I think you can do it on most things, and you go to like most popular. Like I've got like a little video of me playing SMT4 called Negotiating that's got 33k, and it's like, that popped off, thanks. And it's like, that's great. Like, that made me so happy that popped off and it was just me fucking around. But that's always the way, isn't it? The videos you don't expect to take off always do, and the ones you put your heart and soul into kind of meander. But as long as at least one person watches it, that's enough. No matter how hard I pulled, it just wouldn't come loose. Soon enough, night started to fall. You were stuck for that long? Eventually, some of the adults had to free me with hammers and a drill. Oh, that is scary. Yeah, even my memory is rather unsettling. If it were me, I'd be super traumatized. What if they had to use a chainsaw to remove my arm? Quite, a chainsaw would certainly hurt. Wait, something the matter? All of a sudden, I'm really hungry. I want some super spicy sausages. Wait. Sausage? Sausage? Is that why? Is that the link? I played Destroy All Humans when they announced the remake, and all the old DAH fans watched along with my playthrough and had some really fun discussions. Loved the whole playthrough. That's amazing. I imagine you're super excited for the sequel remake that's coming around soonish then. But that's really cool that you get like kind of that almost not kind of like a second wind then, because you did it and then the announcement and then people came back. Alluring light. Alright, Yuki. Drifting a little there, were we? Where is... Is that her way over there? Yes, indeedy. I'm waiting for SpongeBob Cosmic Shake personally from THQ. It's like, am I finally going to get a sequel to a game that was like one of my earliest childhood games, Battle for Bikini Bottom? Or am I finally going to get a direct sequel to it? Because the movie game technically is a sequel, but it's very linear. It has the same engine and mechanics. To the nighttime pool. Oh my god. Time to get our money's worth out of this pool! Oh my god. Look at these two nitwits. Look at these little super morons. What should we do first? Let's have a splash fight. Like couples do? Yeah, like couples do. Okay, honey. Ah. What she just trying to wipe her eyes while she's at it? Ah, this is great, huh? Yeah, it's super fun. This isn't very different from a regular pool, is it? That's right. Everything we've done, we would have done at a regular pool too. It's no good at all. We need a game you can only do in a night pool. Any ideas, Al? Stargaze while floating. I can imagine that being really tranquil, actually. But floating in your back in water is kind of soothing. But like watching the night sky, all the stars and whatnot, whilst you're in the water, that's like a double dose of like relaxation. It's pretty, but does this count as a game? Probably not. I see. So we just have to make sure it's something that definitely wouldn't do in a normal pool. I know that, but what could we do? Unless, in a normal pool, you'd swim a bunch, which would mean we don't swim. I like your thinking. Splashing is normal, so we don't splash. You're a genius. Which means, do we even get in the pool? Well done, my apprentice. You're exactly right, we don't. Whoa! Alright, now that we've got this figured out, it's time to enjoy this night pool. Woohoo! They're a pair of idiots. Oh, it's still going. The night pool isn't very fun. I want to get in the water. I'm sorry, Al. I was the one who said we should build it. I had no idea it would be like this. You have nothing to apologize for. Making the pool together and hanging out with you, I had a ton of fun. So I'm super glad that we got to build it, and I'm glad that you suggested it. Oh, you're gonna make me blush. You already are. You already are. I can see in the light reflection that you are. Another little charm of Yuki. The moment someone compliments her, she actually struggles. Let's just enjoy the pool by not using the pool. Genius! That's another thing that's really endearing about Yuki. Like, she's a complete menace, a complete goofball, always like, yeah, I'm the star of the show kind of attitude. The moment someone genuinely compliments her, she blushes and gets all shy. She doesn't know how to handle it. Just wanted to let you know. Let's have some more fun. Great as always, Fragment. Oh, hello. Oh, you're rank 6 now, so we're going to get your more heart to heart. Target acquired. Transporting target to the roof. If that's cool. Sure, on one condition. A condition? What are we doing? You know, muscle training. I'm kind of making it up as we go, though. What? I thought we were coming up to the roof to do something fun. Training isn't any fun. Hey, you said I could decide what we do if I went to the roof. It might not be quite as active as other stuff, but it's still a pretty good workout. Ow. Does this have anything to do with me collapsing the other day? Yes. I just thought, you can't play until you're completely exhausted every single day. Besides, I'd be happy if we could spend a bit more time together. Rather than running around a bunch, I thought we could just chill and enjoy ourselves. I guess that's an idea. I don't agree at all. I've had enough lying around for a lifetime. Makes sense. Remember, she was super sick. She was super sick and was bedridden for a long time because of the ash. Even if she doesn't remember it, I imagine her body kinda does. Shoot, I don't think I took Yuki's feelings into consideration. I thought it was for her own good, but I didn't even think about her illness. Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yuki, Oh, I'm sorry. Huh? I shouldn't have worded it like that. I haven't even talked to you about when I was sick. It wasn't fair of me to accuse you of not understanding how I feel. You have no reason to apologize. You were right. Yuki? I'm really happy that you would worry so much about me. I mean that. Got it. Yuki's a sweet girl. I'll have to think of more things we can do next time. Alright, new talent type. What's Yuki got? What's in her arsenal now? God, we've got her 4. We haven't unlocked her dungeon yet, so we've got her 4, but not her 3. Lucky, weaken, HP plus 15? What's this at the... I wonder what that one is. It's probably another... Is that giving away how many playable characters there's going to be? Is there going to be one more active playable character and everyone else is going to be support? Do you think? I have so many slots now. What's this one? So it goes easy to go. Okay, no, not interested. What do I want to put on? Dodge cooldown. Dodge chance, but greatly increases damage taken. Oh, Jesus. Bet on your luck. Now I'm good. Slow immunity. Extra damage when an enemy's weak. So I think that's quite nice. Defense. Decreases likelihood of being targeted by the enemy. No, because they already target Shio too much. Greatly increases attack, but decreases defense. But I'll take the risk. I'll take the risk. Actually, no. Where was the weakness one? I'll do more damage when you hit a weakness. I'll wear that. I'll use that instead. I wonder what happens when I reach talent level 6. Do I start holding my own hand? Or... Okay. That's everything, finally. So let's... We need to get quaking sand, and we can make the water heater, though. Let me quickly check to see if there is any item we didn't pick up in the dungeon, that could be what we're after. Like if it is possible to get quaking sand or if it's in another dungeon. Doesn't seem that way. Whoops. We could try to do a bit more rises actually at some point, since we're an even higher level than before. We'll probably still get beat up because that level recommendation is a lie, but whatever. But let's do the water heater thing first. Nice. Okay, boiler complete. Now all we need to do is install it and we'll have our bath. Wait. Aren't we forgetting something? Like what? I don't know exactly, but bathhouses aren't just about the bathtub, are they? With a bath this big, we need some decorations to give it a little character. Decorations, huh? Alright, leave it to me. I'll go get what we need. Bathhouse mural. Ambassadors. Whoa, it really feels like a bathhouse now. Not only that, this backdrop, it's Hoshinomiya, the beach I used to go to. I just happened to find this photo. One of the artisans helping me suggested it. Reina in the background immediately stepped her head away the moment she said, Thanks, Al. And thank your artisan for me too. Alright, let's make this bath a reality. Here goes. And now we have to make the bath. Hot water, this. Oh, we have to get rid of the old pool? That's depressing. I liked the night pool we had. Well, it's just, especially because it's just a pool that is with steamy water and that mural. That's it. I mean, it'll be nice, I guess. Fine, for the sake of the plot. Trophy unlocked. Bath time. Develop the bath. Oh my. Boiler, check. Decorations, check. Bar stools, buckets, other essentials, check. We're good to go. That's a wrap. Huh? Nothing's happening. I guess it wasn't a bath that we were supposed to build. Oh well, we can at least have a bath now. Let's get in. Yeah, very true. Okay then, let's get our bath supplies and meet back in the locker room. So be sensible now, game. Don't get too fan service-y about this. Be sensible. Look, I haven't done this in ages. Yeah, it feels like we're getting ready for gym. Ah, shoot, I forgot my sunscreen. You can borrow mine. Thanks. Which rubber ducky should I bring? Oh man. What's up? Nothing! Oh, we get changed. I can't wear that in front of everyone. Uh-oh. Ah, the water feels so good on my weary bones. Okay, it's not gratuitous. Other than whatever the fuck Coco's doing by resting her chest on the bars like that. That's the stuff. You two sound like old men. Time to practice my butterfly stroke. You have way too much energy. There really is nothing like a good soak in the bath. I feel so relaxed. Yeah, it feels like the perfect place to organize your thoughts. I wonder if soaking in here could help us come up with any good ideas for new facilities. Is this the other bikini that she was hesitant on wearing? Yes, it is. Look at those red eyes. Look at that red. I'm just here to try and come up with some ideas. I have a swimsuit in the wash, so I have to wear this one. She really is cute, though. Ah! Hinako and Kirara? That's an unusual combination. Really, Kirara's the one who suggested building a bath. Oh, true. Glad to see you two have found some common ground. Indeed. It's going for a nighttime soak is even better. Look. A shooting star. A shooting star! Ah, too slow again. You making a wish? Yeah. You can. You have to say it 3 times in your head, but I can never do it in time. That is a shame. Very well. I shall listen to your desires. What's with that high and mighty attitude? You just want to know what I wished for. Yeah, you got me. I'm curious too. What were you going to say? What is your wish, Al? My wish? For so long, I thought I wanted to be special. But since coming to this world and seeing so many strange things, I'm not sure if that's what I want anymore. I mean, what does it even mean to be special? I want to be able to laze around all day, every day, I guess. Are you messing with us? No, I'm super serious. I wish I could live like this forever. She's definitely messing with us. Okay, you have forfeited your right to talk. Moving on. Really? It seemed like a lot of effort. Speaking of wishes, we should have a mini Tanabata. I'll get a bamboo stalk and some paper. Excellent idea. Oh, I wish summer vacation could last forever. I really do. By the way, Al. What? Why did you choose to wear that? Oh, this? Well, it looks good on you. I was just surprised because it was different from what you usually wear. I didn't realise you liked such things. I will inform the others of this as well. Uh-oh. No, please don't. Wish upon the star and classic playground equipment have been proposed. Continued the extreme school makeover. Oh, what's Coco want? I just realised I got a text from her. What's up? About the other reflectors. I had this friend with reflector powers. Tell me more. I just remembered that I was invited to her school once. You were? Was it like a school festival or something? Not their school festival, but it was sort of a festival type event. I think it was in the summer. Alright. Summer festival. Alright, we'll make something that fits the bill. Actually. Something terrible has happened. What's wrong? I sense a dark presence in my heartscape. A dark presence? Why do you feel like I've heard that before? Can you be more specific? I don't know, but I feel something terrible. We must go and check ourselves. Alright, I'll go check it out. Wait, I'll go too. What? But it's something feels strange this time. It may be dangerous by yourself. You say so. Let's go check it out. Yes. And Raina's a date. Okay, we'll do that in a sec. I just want to see what we need to craft. So stuff relating to a school festival. We still haven't made any of them. We need a verse. So it's probably that. It's probably that. That's probably the plot thing, especially because it has simple equipment tied to it. Does it have a special place, or does it have to just go somewhere? Please have a special place. God damn it! Of course it doesn't. I won't put it down yet because it might advance the plot, but I think that is what it is. Fluffy bath towel. Why would I want to make this game? Ooh, I need to get more damp sand. I didn't realise it was that low. Like I love how you can customize everything. Yeah, I do. It makes it feel a lot more personal. Right, I've made the fluffy towels. Don't know why. Oh, the saws. We do need to make a number of them because there's some areas we might be able to access now. We need to make more ether alloys to make more, and wood. I think there's an area in the second zone that might require a saw. I can't remember if it's second or third. One of them. We still haven't used the hammer for anything. Just that I could use gunpowder as an ingredient. I just saw that. What the fuck? This is more the completionist in me kicking in here. Trying to clean up all these news because there's a trophy tied to making like a lot of different crafting materials. It's like, can I do anything with the bath now? Now it's made. Like, can I just go check on it whenever I want, or is it a plot only do one? Oh, you have to use. You have to use fluffy towels, and then it okay. And it increases your health, so that is something then. That's why you make the towels. It's a currency. The towels are currency. Let's go on this date with Reina. See what's on her mind. Yuki said she wanted to jump right in. Don't get any ideas, Hoshizaki. Yay, she holds her hand too. Even if she's like a foot taller than us, so it's probably a bit. It's more awkward for us than it is her because we have to lift our arm up more. This floor is nice and quiet. Feels strange at night though. Going through the bathroom can be a bit scary. Stop it! Don't say things like that. I like how Reina genuinely has like a lot of like phobias that she tries to pretend she doesn't. It has like extra charm to her. Only one who gets nervous for no reason when passing by this room. Probably. You teacher's pet. Well, there aren't any teachers in there to worry about now. That's true, but oh, that means we can peek at the test answer keys all we want. Come on. Oh no, you don't. Let's go. Is it up in the roof in her special room that you want to quickly check? Oh, looks tiny. Looks Reina. Yeah, Reina. How tall is Reina compared to us? Well, how tall are we? We're 157, and Reina is 172. Yeah, she's a lot taller than us. Who's the tallest? 6'3". Not Yuki. 159 or Shio. I think Reina is the tallest actually, because these two, I know what height they're not. It could be worse. Keep in mind who she has a crush on. If she was standing next to like her Yuki or holding Yuki's hand, that would be like the night and day. It'd be like she's holding onto the hand of a little sister. I wonder what's in this file. Oh, that's. Whoa, there are pictures and notes on here of plants around here. Did you put this together, Reina? Thought it might help us understand the world better. This is impressive, but it's too bad. Huh? I thought it'd be something a little bit more scandalous. What were you hoping for? But yeah, it does kind of look, especially when you zoom in, look at the height difference. It's kind of like, oh, okay, there's like a whole head's worth of difference between them. Like, Owl's kind of like at neck level almost. Yeah, Yuki is small. Yuki is, oh, we don't know her height because we haven't unlocked her memory yet. It's weird that we can't just, you know, check her height and weight and say at least get that, because we can check it, because I'm curious how tall she actually is. So I'm expecting her to be like 145. I think she's slightly smaller than Kirara. Anyway. Oh, I love a big wide open bath. I don't even see baths this big at spa resorts. You're right, it might even be too big. Why don't we divide the pool into separate areas to have different types of baths? What did you have in mind? How about a bunch of different baths with different fragrances? We don't have any bath salts though. Can't you science something up, Reina? You know, science doesn't just mean you can do anything. I'm counting on you, Reina. I'm afraid I'll have to say no. Aww. Still, it's great being able to use a bath like this whenever we want. When I was little, I thought it would be so fun to live in a bathhouse. My dream finally came true. Have you ever had that thought, Hoshizaki? For sure. If I could take a bath like this every day, I'd love baths. Definitely. I wouldn't want to take a bath when it's crowded, though. That's why it's nice here. We always have the place to ourselves. Yeah, but you make as much noise as a crowd would. Think of it as ambience. Psh, you could put it that way. You would put it that way. Oh, I almost forgot, Reina. Could you time me? Are you playing the swim laps? It's a pool, isn't it? I guess so, but... There's a beach ball and an inflatable mattress too. Always goofing around, aren't you? It's fine, no one else is here. I'm here. I know you've got a playful side, Reina. Where's the air pump? Yay! Yay! Oh, I ended there. Unrestricted use. I wanted to see a scene of her actually getting into it and enjoying herself. Oh, and Hina has a date for us. Oh my god, we're never going to get to the next dungeon. Where the fuck's Hina? Oh, there you are. I think that's the only thing. Like, I don't mind it because I love the characters, I love the dates, I love being able to interact with everyone. But it is kind of like, hey, we did the dungeon for like the first hour and we spent the rest of this stream just talking to people. The buff was even better than I expected. I've been soaking it in every day. It's probably the biggest reason why this live stream series is taking so much longer. Move around the days. Days like this are perfect for you know what. Oh yeah, let me go to get a change of clothes. Yay, we are. I didn't realize we are level. Is there blah 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 blah? Is there anyone that we aren't level 6 with? 7, 6, 6, 6. Well, other than obvious. Okay, so it's just Kirara who won't hold our hands yet. So now this is cute for a different reason, because it's the two protagonists. It's the protagonist of the first game and the protagonist of the second game. And it kind of shows more that they're both protagonists when it's like this, because they have similar-esque clothes, similar-esque hairstyle, but just mirrored, because like her fringe goes down her right side, whereas Hina's goes down Hina's left. Like, or our left and our right, in respectively. Like, from behind, like, they're the same sort of height, like, the same sort of skirt and dress up. That just have mirroring colours. Like, you can tell they're the two protagonists because of it, like the first and second game. I wonder how I'd look with long hair. I imagine you'd look kind of cute, Al. You always kept it the same length. Pretty much, longest it's ever been was about shoulder length. Have you grown out yours out before, Hinako? Back when I did ballet, yeah. Oh, I wish I could have seen you with long hair. Maybe I should grow it out again. I'll do it, Hina. If Al's not going to, you do it, Hina. If they make a third game, please have the protagonist have longer hair. If they've got the models this down pat, because of their art style and engine and graphics and whatnot, have a long, flowy hair in the next game for the character. Because it's the same in like the Atelier games. I can't remember if Atelier. I think Sophie has longer hair, but that also uses an older engine. But like Atelier Ryza has like the same sort of length hair as Owl and Hina does. Maybe like a little bit scruffier in the sequel. I haven't played the sequel yet. And it's like, no, do another long-haired protagonist. You've clearly got the engine down for hair physics. This brings me back. I spent a lot of time in the bed in the nurse's office. What? I used to get so sleepy sometimes. You mean you came to the nurse's office just to take naps? Every once in a while, I'd get in trouble if I did it every day. Got me worried there for a second. Oh, did you think it was something serious? Don't worry, I don't think I've ever been here for a legitimate reason. I don't think there's something to be proud of. Anything else before we go to the pool? Yes, there is. This way. Got Raina doing a bit of spring cleaning for us. On her floor more. Or at least making them a priority. Oh, whoops. The game doesn't seem to like corners. It seems to disrupt the hand-holding a lot. I know long hair can glitch out sometimes, but Raina has long hair, so it'll work, especially with the extra funds the series has. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how well the Blue Reflection games do, but I do know that Gust as a company did really well off both the Riser games. Both the Atelier Riser games sold insanely well. I think it's why this game's more ambitious anyway, because they had a lot more money to burn after the first Riser game's success. Which, to be fair, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I will cover Riser at some point. I don't know if it'll be straight away because it'd be another Gust RPG, but Riser is another really wholesome, light-hearted game for the most part. It's just that game has like super open environments and is extremely reliant on like gathering resources and crafting. So the game is super slow because you're exploring the same environments time and time again to like gather materials. Yeah, in the morning sometimes. I always get bread here too. This is such a strange thing to me. Is getting bread from the vending machine a normal fucking thing in Japan? Because I never remember like there being bread in vending machines, or at least where I am. It just seems so strange to me, yet it gets brought up so much. I wonder who restocks it. Yeah, there is an anime. The dub comes out. Actually, I think the dub comes out this week on Crunchyroll. I probably won't watch it straight away. Maybe after I finish this, I'll entertain it. Because the Japanese version of the sub, I've heard mixed things. The people say it's really good and does the empathy feelings, but the anime is also kind of all over the place. And I'm like, oh, okay, so good intentions, but some of the execution is a little here and there. At least that's the impression I got. But yeah, it's the Blue Reflection is becoming a very strong identity for Gus as a company. It might not be as successful as the Atelier games, but they clearly want to do more with this. And to be honest, who can blame them? Imagine being a developer and getting to work on a game about being nice. You know, a game about empathy, about learning to understand each other. There's so much personal input you'd probably be able to like put into even the littler details. You know? There's a whole series about empathy being a core theme. What you've got with like crazy god monsters and things like that in the background. Like, there's so much you can do with it. I think the anime is a new cast. I know the anime is a new protagonist, but I don't know if the entire cast is new. I just know there's a new separate protagonist from Ao and Hina. Yeah, the ultimate feel-good. It's the same with the Atelier games. I think working for Gust is probably quite nice, because the Atelier games are pretty optimistic as well. Every game they make has a really optimistic and upbeat feel. It's just the Atelier games lean more on the sense of adventure, whilst this leans on empathy. Think about it. Isn't it weird that it never runs out of stock, no matter how much of it we use? Maybe the cooking team is filling it back up? But they're in, like, commercial packaging. I'll step back. Wait, don't leave me! It's nearing to 1 o'clock my time, so I'll probably wrap up soonish. I'll finish off this date. Do that side quest for Yuki, because that might lead to a unique scene. And in fact, it usually does. So that was the only like regret I had, is that there was a side quest with Reina that I did, and at the end of the side quest, Reina talked about Yuki and talked about like trying to come to understanding of her feelings, and I felt bad that because I thought the side quest was just a little thing, I did it off screen, and I was like, no, that was kind of important to like their character and who Reina is. And I'm kind of surprised they haven't brought it up more often. I guess they're kind of just waiting on Yuki to get her memories back, and then they touch on it more there, but it's still like... I wish I had a figure like yours, Hinako. Thin but not too skinny, toned. You can just say hourglass, Al. You can just say hourglass figure, and she'll get it. I don't think there's anything wrong with the way you are, Al. That's not true, I'm kind of a slob. You can't hide your tummy in a swimsuit. Even if you wear a swim dress, it'll show if you turn a certain way. Really? I don't get it. People with those who know the struggles of... Blessed are those who know not the struggles of ordinary people. Any side quests missable? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I've been doing every single side quest that comes my way. But at the same time, every side quest that's come my way, the only ones I haven't been able to do make sense. Like, it's very clear to me which ones I can't do, like, advanced yet, because it'll be, like, involving a dungeon we haven't accessed, or a material we haven't got yet. Like, half the crafting things requires materials we don't have access to, so I know that's for later on. But I've just been doing everything as I go, because I enjoy it. In the first game, it wasn't. Even if you, like, super advanced the plot, the way it worked in the first game was, you had until the end of Chapter 10. And the game even kind of warned you a little bit in the trophies. Not in the game itself, in the trophies. There was a lot of trophies that said, you have till Chapter 10. Because Chapter 11 and 12 were super linear. So, at the end of Chapter 10, you got one more free place run around to wrap up all the side quests and everything you missed. And so I imagine, if the first game did it fine, as in, like, you couldn't miss side quests outside of it being warned to you, I imagine this will be the same. So I imagine, I don't want to say I know for sure, because I haven't missed a side quest to find out if it goes or not. But I imagine you're fine, because all the girls stay together and they stay in this school, so why wouldn't it be? And none of the dungeons get locked off after you're done. So, like, you know, everything still makes sense. Of course I know the struggle. I always had to watch what I ate and work out all the time. Really? My ballet teacher always said I'd have to manage my physique if I ever wanted to go pro. That sounds rough. It's not that bad once you get used to it. You have to go that far to get into that kind of shape. That just makes me want to tempt her to be a little naughty. Of course. This is what I mean. This is what I was talking about earlier with Al, when it's like there's a lot of, like, flirtatiousness in her nature towards the other girl. She likes to have fun with them and prank them a little bit. Ah, I had the perfect thing to tempt you with, but I forgot to bring it. What was it? Ice cream? You're gonna eat ice cream here? Yeah. Eating ice cream while soaking in the bath does sound great, but wouldn't it melt? How about juice then? We can freeze it ahead of time. Good idea. It'll even be good if it melts. Something warm might be nice too, like coffee or hot cocoa. No. I disagree, Hina. I think a hot drink in hot water would kind of make you uncomfortable. Because I think you yourself would get too hot even in the water. I think that'd be too much. Al's a cheeky menace and I love it. Yeah, she's like Hina's story in the first game I think was more interesting than Al's story, because Hina's story was that, you know, she lost her dream and was trying to find herself again. She didn't know what to do, and she, you know, found this new purpose, this new thing to hold on to. Whilst Al is a normal kid trying to figure out what the fuck she's ended up in. But that's about as far as it goes. Like, Hina has a more interesting backstory than Al, but Al as a whole is a far more enjoyable protagonist than Hina, because she's got so much character to her. Like, Hina kind of went through the motion a lot of it and was kind of, not stagnant, but kind of just stayed where she was and kind of just worried about things as it happened. Whilst Al, like, she has a mind of her own, and it's a very cheeky but kind of lazy but menace mind. That's just fun. And it just makes her a really enjoyable protagonist. I thoroughly enjoy playing as Al because of her character. And it's nice to just, you know, play an RPG that doesn't have, like, a mute protag or something. To actually have a character that, you know, is their own person. You're more sophisticated than I thought, Hinako. I'm not sure what you mean, but it doesn't sound like a compliment. It'd be nice to be able to get in the bath in a swimsuit. How come? It's not awkward. When I'm in a public bath, I never know where to look. I just don't want to, I don't want to just stare at people. Oh, you get super self-conscious. That's fair enough. You were just staring at me, though. But you're wearing a swimsuit. It's fine. I didn't realize you thought about these things. You mean you never think about it? Not really. It's just you, and we're both girls. I'm really glad you're opening up so much to me, Hinako. Now I'm thinking I might want to rephrase what I said. What? No take-backs? Every time it gives you the choice. It depends on the character, but there's some characters where it's like, I always want to be cheeky around them. But there are other characters like, no. Like with Yuki, for example, she's a cheeky menace, so you want to feed into it a little bit. But then there are other characters like Shio, who's like a complete sweetheart. And it's like, no, I want to just be nice to her. The only teasing I'll do if it's like really nice and like harmless teasing, you know? I said all of her teasing's harmless, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
Alright, Hino, what can we give you, since you're in a supporting role? That makes sense. Even if I'm not using you in my support slot, that's just nice to have. I did see there was another fragment, but I'll get back to it in a minute. Is there anyone else who's interested in a date before I go do this thing? No. I've been cheeky to Reina. Yes, yes, actually. When if you've taken her up into the hot air balloon yet, if you take her up to it, like she gets scared of heights, and you can hold her hand and try and reassure her, or you can jump to her side and give her a big hug and freak her out. And I picked the hug. I was like, no, jump straight onto her, like make it so that the hot air balloon rocks a little and give her a big hug. She was not amused. But I've leaned more into that. Oh, this went to pick up. I've leaned more into that now I know more about Reina. Listen, when I first started the game, I didn't do it so much, because I know she was a lot more serious. What are we working on? An essay? Just a story. Story, I guess you could call it. That's amazing. Can I read it? No, it's nothing worth seeing yet when it's done. I can't wait. I've said it before in a previous stream. I can't help but run across the rails because we had like an abandoned trail yard when I was a kid, and I always ran across the rails. It's like it's second nature for me. And so even in a game, I just kind of lean towards it because it's just I can't help it. There's something else here, so it is just this. Is this another stealth mission then? If we're coming in just us two? Oh yeah, Kirara said they sensed a dark presence in the Heartscape, didn't she? Check it out. Is it just me, or are these demons different?
Ow.
How? Ow, look out. Huh? The scythe went right through it. What do we do? Retrieve her now! What was that? It went right through it. It felt like I was fighting a ghost. Yeah, think about whose world you're in. A ghost? Impossible. Kirara, is there something you're not telling me? I can't say anything for sure, but I may know a way to deal with them. How? We ignore the demons and worry about the source instead. Yeah, stealth mission, meaning the demons are likely born from evil thoughts, which would mean that somewhere there's an aggregation of evil thoughts. Yes, I can speak. I'm not that dyslexic. If we find and destroy it, the demons should disappear. You seem pretty knowledgeable about this. It's just your imagination. Whatever, let's just try and find the source. If you run into any ghosts along the way, we'll have no choice but to run away. No attacks will have no effect. Yep. Yeah, it's a sneaking mission. Where are we trying to get to? Oh, so just up, right, and down. Okay. I wish they had more plot sections that required stealth. That thing is tall. Holy shit. No. We like, oh Jesus, I don't think we should have got away with that as much as we did. Because they're only in these side quests after the tutorial, and it's like, I want to get into a dungeon where there's a point where, I don't know, the enemies can't be touched again. No, I wanted the map. Okay, that is the only way, so we have to navigate around this thing. I don't know how quickly it's going to turn. Oh god. Go away. I was stealth 100. I wish her stealth pose wasn't this when she's standing. Like when she's moving, it makes sense. When she's just standing still, she looks awkward. Like, I always kind of wish she crouched down a little more or something. But if there's only like at least so far, there might be one later on, only one main stealth section feels like a missed opportunity. Because they made a little playground in that first dungeon in Coco's Hardscape. So for you to like explore different options to stealth through an environment. Whilst all the rest have just been side quests going through areas we've already been to. So it's like, you already know the layout, you already know how it works, and you already know it's not quite the same playground. Going for it. There it is. Here we go. Nice, we broke it. The ghost actually disappeared. This means we can... Ow, behind you. Why are they still here? Run! Why are ghosts still here? There must be another source nearby. We have to destroy all of them. Dang it! Oh, so it's a bit longer than I thought for a side quest. Where's the next one then? I pressed that button again. Oh, okay, middle of the town. Are so many enemies that we dealt with gone at least, so it's easier to get back there? Okay, at least that one is. I imagine that one got rid of like the small ones, and the giant reindeer things are going to be around. You're not going to move, are you? It's the gladiator. You have to go around. I don't like how tall that enemy is. It kind of creeps me out that it's that tall. It's kind of unsettling how big the thing is. How am I going to get past you? Like that. Made it. I'll wait for it to turn back on itself to pick up that item. Stealth Master. It is a nice pace breaker though, I do appreciate it. What's that enemy doing? Because the first game didn't have any of this, it was literally just dungeon crawling and then go back out into the field to talk to people sort of thing. So having just a little extra thing like this to break up the pace. Stolen from right under your nose. Now I want to observe how I'm getting past you, other than going behind the pot. Alright, there goes another. The ghosts are still coming. Jeez, did they ever let up? No, pressed it again. Don't know why my brain's going that road. I imagine we can't go straight ahead. We have to go right and around. Which means I need you to turn away. But it's one of the longest stealth missions we've had in a while, though. They usually end pretty, like, quickly. Like the one with Raina that I did, that was super quick. You just got to the edge of the area and that was it. Yeah, I had a feeling this is the way round you have to go. And squeeze through that to get past. It's a good thing they can't hear.
よし
Don't mind me, just some like college girl running past, because they have established. Oh shit! I didn't realize there's more down here. They have established that although they're in high school uniform, all of them are like literally on the cusp of leaving high school, so like are basically college kids, or have left and are in somewhere in between. Because Hina referred to them all as as college kids. So they are slightly older. They're all like 19 or 20-ish, or 18 to 19 for being generous.
よし
That's number 3. Are they all gone?
やるんだ
Good work, Al. The dark presence is gone now.
やったね
Yay! Man, I'm beat. Thank goodness. It was just like in the book. What book? I read about this form of exorcism in a horror novel the other day. Huh? A heartscape is created from its host's heart. That must be how the ghost got here. It makes sense that something I would read would have an effect on it. That's a good point.
うんうん
I see. And you knew how the novel ended, so you knew how to deal with them. Bingo. I still can't believe ghosts actually popped up in your heartscape. That book must have really scared you.
そうだな
It's more fun than scary. A true masterpiece. It's been like 10 streams and I have finally made it to one of your streams, dude. Yeah, it's been a while, Krifik. And I feel kind of bad because I was going to wrap up in about 5 minutes. I think there's a sequel too. I can't wait to read it. I was going to do this side quest and then wrap up and do the main quest, continue it again tomorrow and do more of the... Not tomorrow, Thursday. I'm taking tomorrow off. I shall be careful. Because I think 3 to 4 hours is like my ideal right now in terms of stream length. I'm enjoying that sort of length.
これがつながりの
I don't mind doing the super longs every now and then, but not all the time. What talent can we give you now? Kokoro knockdown boost would be good, or Shio. Kokoro, because Shio really does insane damage. And what was that other fragment we picked up that I didn't even check? Decreases the likelihood of being inflicted with a status ailment. So many. That's the other thing I kind of like about this game over the first. In the first, you had enough slots that you could equip every single fragment you picked up. So you had like 125 and all of them were used. And so you felt a bit too powerful by the end of it. Whilst this, you only have so many slots, so you have to be a lot more conservative and think about it. But we've made a lot of progress. We finished Scruffpot's Kirara. Why can't I say her name now? Kirara's Heartscape. We know what we need to do to unlock the next one. We just need to make some more festival stuff to see what happens, to try and twig another memory. We got a bath finally put together, so we can actually, you know, like chill and have like a hot soak. Even if I do kind of miss the night pool that we had before, but we can alternate, I suppose. Still no more like Reina x Yuki going on. Like Reina hasn't brought it up once since that extra scene, which I think is kind of a shame. So I want to see them do more with it. And we've split up the group. I say split up the group. The mature 3, as in Hina, Reina, and Shio, are now upstairs sleeping in 2B. Which makes me wonder if when we're going to open up 2A. Yeah, I finished the whole trilogy of Ace Attorney. I'll do the Great Ace Attorney at another time, but I've done the whole trilogy streamed. I did that a while ago, Griffith. It has been a while. You need to check my archives. And on that, I detoured and did Castlevania. I've been busy, dude. I'm literally just about to wrap up, so I feel kind of bad, but I need to get some food in my system, and I want to kind of chill out a bit, and like before my mum's in from work, because she's working today anyway, so I can just kind of do some stuff before I need to get some housework done, because I have been like letting that slide a bit, and just in general kind of chill. And then tomorrow will be like my proper recoup from streaming day, and then come back Thursday to do more of this, and then Friday is the Guilty Gear Season 2 update, or the start of Guilty Gear 2. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks, dude. I have no idea what I'll do tomorrow, but I'll just chill. Let me save and go back to the title screen. And then I'll wrap up proper. What level are we now? 33. We're getting there. How many people are at the title screen now? That's the other thing I really like. Oh, look, it's getting quite busy now. There's so many people here now. But yeah, so the rest of this week, Thursday should be more of this. Friday, I think Friday's the 10th, right? And I'm not thinking it's like some other day. No, Friday's the 10th, so that will be Guilty Gear Day. So we'll see what Season 2 does. So we'll do that for like a stream or two, just experimenting, seeing what's new, what's changed, yada yada. Saturday I'll take off, and then Sunday I'll probably do more of this and push to get it completed and see what happens first. I beat this or Sonic Origins comes out. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.